Lord have mercy, I'm about to bust.
I can't help but be racist. It's true.
Go suck a big fucking dick.
When I vomited into bed, I just laid it. I'm not even fucking with you. I mean, you cannot deny that I am the greatest.
No offense, David Jaffe, but that's bullshit.
God damn her. Well, my delightful delinquents, welcome to Gavin Games for Monday the 18th. Good to see everybody. Welcome to the show. I appreciate you being here. It is good to start a new week, kicking it off in the world of video games. Obviously, the big news today are the Game Awards. We will talk about that. We will talk about a little bit more other video game news. We'll get into some news of the weird. I'm going to show you at the end of the show today a video game that should have been nominated for Game of the Year, but no one is even talking about because that's the way it goes in the big city. Let me get to the chat real quick first and say welcome to everybody. Bulbo's grandma wants to know if this is a live show. It is a live show. Brett Moore says, Jaffe, listen, have you always been confident and indifferent to what other people think of you, or did you develop that over time? I'll give you the real answer, because it's real easy to talk about it like that sort of apathy is some sort of quality, which it is, but it's not like something noble, like I have developed it consciously. It came from two things. It came from having a very loving but very tumultuous childhood. My parents believed I could do anything, so I believed I could do anything, but I also was like, I got to get the fuck out of this crazy town. And in that, those two things together, one was just sort of living in a great sense of delusions of grandeur that I was going to go off and be something. And the other was that I really fucking needed to go off and be something because I couldn't stay there. And those two things together, along, I think, with later, at least a little bit later in life, making a little bit of money so I had some freedom to do what the fuck I wanted to, those two things really helped. So how much of it is sort of in my DNA and how much of it is because of scenarios like that, I couldn't tell you. But I'm grateful for it. I'm grateful for having that perspective on life, because I think we only get one life to live as far as we know. And hell, Bob Lazar says we're containers for aliens, is what he says. What are they containing? Our spirits, our knowledge? He says the whole reason religion exists is to keep us from killing each other, so when we die, the aliens can get whatever we've been walking around containing. Don't fucking ask me. I don't fucking know. Eddie T says Stellar Blade wasn't nominated for Game of the Year. That's because it's not Game of the Year. Because it's illegal due to having an attractive woman in Biden's America. Yeah. Listen now. I want to tell you two things before we get started. Number one, I'm doing a lot of decluttering because, prepping everything for the holidays. And I came across these. I love those videos on YouTube with the dogs that have the mats. The owners have the mats with all the buttons that you can put words so they can say when they want to go outside, and they can say when they want to, eat, and they want attention and blah, blah, blah. So we got some of these, but I didn't have the discipline to ever carry it through. I should have hired somebody to do it for me. But I'm trying to, I guess I'm going to throw them away, but here's one of them. Let's see. Yeah, he was supposed to go, this is what he was going to press. Ace was going to push down on this whenever he wanted some affection. This is what Bukkake needs in his home for his, whenever he's lucky enough to have a girlfriend. He's just like, but anyway, that is kind of cool if you got the willingness to kind of put the effort into training your dog with stuff like that. The other thing I will tell you, and I don't have any sponsors really for this show except my wonderful, wonderful, delightful Gods of War, which we'll talk about in a little bit. One day I'd love to get sponsors. You know who I'd love to get? No one pays me for this. But I will tell you, I just got some dope yesterday from Torres Holistics here in San Diego. I love that company. They are affordable. They are fast. They have the coziest goddamn pot shop I've ever been in my life. This is a gelato all-in-one dragon fruit pen. This is what I will be smoking up on the Game Awards that we will be talking about later today. How can anyone actually vote? Yeah, Jacob, we'll get to that. What is the category nominees that pissed you off the most? We'll get to that, Raymond. We'll get to all the Game Award stuff. I know it's what people are talking about. But first, I would like to talk about some other things, just sort of what's going on. The other day, I posted this thing on the community board for members, and I said, I'm thinking about doing a couple of new shows on the channel, and one of them is this kind of showcasing really weird, strange games. And it was either Da Vinci's Demons or another longtime viewer of the show and part of our community said, yeah, the thing is, though, the indie games just don't get any ratings or reviews. Nobody fucking watches them. And he's not wrong, really. And it really bothers me, man. There's nothing I can do about it. It's just like, yeah, just go be bothered, Jaffe. Go find a corner and go be bothered about it, because it doesn't matter. And I'm assuming it's just graphics. I'm assuming it's just fucking graphics, man. I guess people just, or time or the marketing. I couldn't tell you what it is, but I want to show you a game that I've been playing recently, and this is not my game of the year. I don't think this merits a game of the year, but it's one of the most engaging, fun things I've played. And people have been talking about this. I'm not like some, hey, look what I've discovered. This has been pretty big for the last 6 months, or the 6 weeks. But this is a trading card game, card shop simulator. And I just will tell you, it is... Boy, it's fun. And I am not a trading card guy. I've never played Pokemon in real life. I play like, digital stuff like Marvel Snap and Hearthstone. But, this is just a delight. It is so much fucking fun. The loop is great. Okay, so here's what makes it great. First off, thematically, it's a lot of fun. So it's fun to get cards and little figurines and stuffed animals based on geek stuff and comic books. You can sell graphic novels. And there are mods, like people have already done mods where you can get the Pokemon cards and blah, blah, blah. And, hopefully they'll, we were talking about this last night when I was streaming it. It would be great to see like, adult star cards that you can do a mod and all that shit. But part of it's fun because of that. Part of it's fun because... it's just, Jaffe's Nerd Emporium, says Zeke. That's right. It's fun because the loop, is delightful to start seeing your shop grow and seeing people come in. It's fun because the actual checking out of people, like I hired someone to do the checkout at the counter and I fired them within like 10 minutes of gameplay time, because I was just like, I like doing that. That's a great deal of fucking fun for me. It feels good. It reminds me, believe it or not, of Silent Hill 2. And Silent Hill 2, when you've got the controller and it's actually is the radio and it's coming out of the speaker, and it feels like you actually have a little radio. And this, when somebody comes up to the counter and pays with the credit card, you can, use your numbers on the keyboard, or you can use your clicks and blah, blah, blah on the mouse, but you can also use like your keyboard little numerical section on the far right. And it just feels like you're, checking people out of a retail line with all these cool, nerd paraphernalia. It's really neat. And then, yes, there's stinky nerds that come in and you can go in and kind of hose them down, and otherwise it'll hurt your rating of your shop. It's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun. And yeah, Awesome Tatum says Jaffe playing the game running the bar that makes beer. That was terrible because I couldn't make the beer, but I did play a fantasy sword and sorcery bar, that was called like Tavern Simulator, which was pretty fucking good. But anyway, I just wanted to bring this to your attention. This is not the game I want to show you at the end of the stream, which is criminal that it's not game of the year. But I definitely think if this even looks somewhat interesting to you, it's not that expensive. It's like $13. I recommend it. Will it be on, Game Pass or console? I think so, because it already sports controller and it seems to be doing really, really well. And then, Brett Moore says he loves Star Trucker. That's a great sim game, and that's over on Game Pass. Yeah, I've heard that's a great game as well. So I'm playing this. Just wanted to let you know, heads up for this if you're curious about such nonsense. And then I'm obviously also playing Dragon Age still. Played it some last night. Played a little bit today. I did want to call out this article because people are like, oh yeah, Jaffe, it's a masterpiece. Like making fun of me because I like it. And I've never said it was a masterpiece at all. I don't think it's the best game of the year. I had no issues that it was barely nominated today. It's just a lot of fun. It's like a really good matinee B movie with really cool combat and stuff. But I do agree with this article in VG 24/7. I think the writing is the weakest part. And their headline is, everybody in the game is too nice and I can't stand it. That I agree with. I got no issues with the... I have zero issues with the progressive stuff that a lot of people are upset about, but everybody is so fucking nice that it kind of feels like, your first week in the dorms at college and everybody's just going out of their way not to step on anybody's toes. And it's like, oh my God, shut the fuck up. Just be real. I know they're fucking video game characters in Worlds with Dragons. I get it. But I'm just saying, I will agree that the writing is the weakest part, but it is still a great deal of fun. So I'm playing that. I'm playing the goddamn card simulator. We got my buddy Kajina in the chat. She says, I genuinely love Dragon Age, but haven't played the new one. I'd be curious what you think. A lot of people say that I didn't play Origins or 2. I started with Inquisition, and Inquisition I really, really liked, and Veilguard is very different than Inquisition in terms of tone and gameplay. But apparently 1 to 2 was very different, 2 to 3 was very different, and 3 to 4 is very different. So that's kind of the shtick of that series. So I don't know if that is true, why people are complaining about it. But as an action game, as an action-adventure game, it's fucking excellent. It's wonderful. Let me know what you think, Gina. Gina, by the way, just started a new YouTube channel. Maybe she'll link it to you, or give me the link and I'll link it. She's doing talk shows over on her channel. And she's got one up. Her first one just went up with a video. He does some video game thing. I haven't finished watching it. So, okay. All right. Let's move forward. I want to show you guys some stuff that's cool. Well, I want to remind you also, tomorrow morning, 8 a.m., Microsoft's got a hell of a week. Xbox has a hell of a week coming out. And since everything's an Xbox, is that okay, Gina? Haha, that's okay. I appreciate it. She says, yeah, because I'm not big enough. Is that what it is? I'm sorry I'm not Asmongold, Gina. We can't all be, living in cockroach-infested slums and whatever, idiot. Yeah, I told her. Listen to this, though. Tomorrow, Xbox is dropping 8 a.m. California time Flight Sim. I love it. I'm going to play it for the graphics. I'm going to play it because I want to see the visuals. I want to see the real-time mapping. But it's always been too complicated for me. And maybe there's more of an arcadey mode this year, like with the helicopters and rescuing people. But this is out tomorrow. And then the very next day, we get Stalker. Now, the word on the street, and this really bugs me a little bit. Brett Moore says it's a large install file. The thing is, though, I'm going to be playing all this through the cloud, so I don't really have to worry about that. But the thing that bugs me is that Stalker now, the word on the street is that the performance is not very good on X. And whenever I play on GeForce Now, even on Game Pass, it's coming off of not of a PC, but it's coming off, I believe, an Xbox. Well, this is what it looks like on the Xbox, which doesn't look terrible, but the frame rate, that's clearly not 60, which is fine. It's not like I'm not going to play it. And the graphics don't look as good. So if you really want, I guess, the high-end, sexy time graphics that they've been showing all of us, I guess you're going to have to play it on PC. This apparently is coming off an Xbox Series X, which I just don't think looks that good. Most people don't. And again, that's okay. It's a simulation. I don't give a fuck. It's Game Pass. I don't give a fuck. So I'm going to play it and I'll fall in love with it if it plays well. I don't really need it to look amazing, but it is kind of a bait and switch. And it's kind of shitty that, assuming this is true. And my understanding is it hasn't, it's coming out Friday and they haven't dropped any reviews yet. I don't think the embargo lifts on the day the game comes out, which doesn't mean that's a bad thing. Sometimes it is, but not always. But I do look at this and I go, it sucks, because I've seen a lot of great looking things. Maybe those were coming off the PC. But I will tell you that if I can, if I fall in love with it on the Xbox, then I'll probably buy a copy over on Steam so I can play it at the highest level on GeForce. But, we'll see. And this, who knows? This, the internet is. This could be from 3 years ago. Apparently it's not, but you never know. You never know. That's okay. They could give me burnt toast because it's free on Game Pass, says Plazookas. No, that's not what I'm saying. I don't know if you're joking or not, but I saw somebody type this to me in a comment recently on YouTube, and they said, the thing that people don't understand about Game Pass is they really are making kind of AA+ games. Not in terms of the quality of the gameplay. That is dependent, of course. But I think this person was telling me they've gone back and played Redfall. And they said, is it a great fucking game? No. But it's a hell of a lot better than, with all of its updates than what people gave it credit for. And again, I played it the day it came out, and I played it a month later. It was fine. It didn't engage me enough to keep playing it. But I do think there is a sense of, not everything not everything you play has to be game of the year on any box. Sometimes you just want to play something. Like I'm playing the new Zelda Echoes of Wisdom, and I love it. Is it the best game I've ever played? No, but it's like a nice little, warm blanket on a cold morning. It's just like, it's kind of fun. It's kind of fun. And maybe it's just because there's so many games to play that there's not room for that. I don't fucking know. Brett Moore says our Game Pass build's different from the Steam version, both on PC. I believe that's true. I believe they are. What I've been led to believe, and maybe I'm wrong here, is if you link your Game Pass account to GeForce Now, like I have, you're not getting the PC version of the game. You're basically getting the Game Pass cloud version of the game, which is coming off an Xbox X. That's what I think is happening. Starfield applies, Flight Sim applies, this will apply the Stalker. So, oh, interesting. Is that, I didn't see that tail. Whoops. Hang on. That's the Beverly Hills 90210 theme song. Let me grab this real quick. Hey, I'm streaming and you're on the stream. You want to call me back? You want me to call you when I'm done, or do you want to just talk?
I'll call you when I'm done with my walk. I'm going to come over after.
All right, give me a call. Bye. Tales of Kenzara is on PS Plus. Interesting. Yeah, I played a little bit of that. I liked it, but it got kind of repetitive is my problem. It was really good, but the level design got really repetitive. So, how many Game Pass games were nominated for Game of the Year? People pay $240 for the service, says Plazukas. I don't know. We'll look at that in a minute. I know for Game of the Year, well, we're going to have a conversation about Game of the Year, because Game of the Year is pretty fucking stupid. Not the show. I enjoy the show. I'm looking forward to streaming it and watching it with you guys and all that stuff. But in fact, let's get to that right now. Let me take a sip of the bubbly. Let me make sure there's nothing you guys want to deal with that is crucial. And then we'll get to the Game Award nominations, because that's the big news of the day. Imagine that, Jaffe, just playing a game because it's fun. People have gotten so used to complaining, says Tristan. Oh, I know. It drives me fucking batshit. Here we go. So first, before we get, where's I Love the Weird? Here's what's happening, Ryan. I am taking I Love the Weird, and I am merging it, at least for the moment, into Gabbin' and Games towards the end. So, for example, today, we will be dealing with 2 or 3 I Love the Weird stories after the break, instead of just making those straight up individual shows. And if people really, after getting a couple of stories every show of Gabbin' and Games, they're like, hey, I really want that to be a full show, then I'll do it. But at least this way, it lets me get that stuff out of my system, which I love. And so we'll be doing that today. Let's see. Eddie T, one of our God of War members for the very fucking longest time, says this. Thank you, buddy. He says, Stalker 2 was going to be the first Xbox game I've bought in years. After seeing how it runs and the fact it is not on disc because it should have 3 discs, but only has 1, I'm skipping. Disappointed with Xbox as usual. Well, do you have Game Pass, Eddie T? Because if you do, just try it. You might like it. It might be good, man. But yeah, I mean, sure, I get it. I know you like to collect your things, and certainly the fact that it isn't a looker, if this is exactly what it looks like, what we're looking at, yeah, that's a real fucking problem. We'll see. Okay. Am I going to stream it again with Gene Park, says Richard? I am going to stream it, but I am debating. He's talking about the Game Awards. Last year I streamed it with Gaz, Bukaki, Gene Park, and myself. And this year I'm starting to think what might be better is to stream it with just members, maybe like Cult of Calypso members, mods, and up in the Discord. So it'll be more just like a hangout, and I'll broadcast it on YouTube, but it'll be less of it's me and a couple of co-hosts. And, so I'm either going to do it's me and a couple of co-hosts, or I'm just going to open up the doors over on Discord, and we'll all watch it together and shoot the shit and talk about it and smoke pot and all that. So I'll put out a poll for members and see what you guys would rather have. But yeah, I'll definitely be streaming it for sure. Okay. Yeah, Stalker 2, says Ludo, already sounds, Bukaki says he's Eddie Loti. You going to hell. Stalker 2 sounds already too hard for most players, says Ludo. Yeah, absolutely. But I'm going to try it because it's quote free. Okay. So let us move forward. Let me tell you, everybody kind of already knows this, but I'm going to tell you what the nominations. Oh, I do want to. Okay. I want to show you something, by the way. And you guys know I like Jeff Keighley. Like I don't know him or spend enough time with him to say we're friends, but I think in the real world we would be if we spent enough time together. But he's a good egg. I like his show a great deal. I like his hustle. I think any video game or any creative award show is stupid. That you can't blame the guy for. But I will say this, though. I have often felt, and I don't know, and I think, Gina, if you're still watching, I know you know Jeff. I don't know how often you talk to him, if you talk to him more than I do. But I will say that I've always felt that he was the wrong guy to host these shows because he just, you know, he's great at what he does and as a writer and a journalist and all that stuff. But you know, I just always felt that he was just sort of on camera as a host. He was just kind of vanilla and dull, and they needed someone else. And I'm not saying that's changed that much, but I will say this, though. There was a difference. I noticed this. I had to go back. So let me show you the nominees that he just won category, best game or best directing, he did last year. And then I want to compare it with his performance today because something has changed. All right. This was him last year.
2023. All right, you ready? It's time for our final two categories.
It's a little choppy, but
Best game direction, which recognizes extraordinary creative vision and innovation in game direction and design. This year's nominees are...
Okay, so that was last year. This was today.
All right, it's time for our final two categories. For Best Game Direction, which recognizes outstanding creative vision and innovation in game direction and design, the nominees are...
Oh, you can't hear that? What do you can't hear that? Really? I'll do it again. Let me do it one more time. You can't hear it. God damn. Is that just Darth Nugget or nobody else can hear? Fuck. All right, I'll turn it up. Here you go. Let me turn it up for you, knuckleheads.
Here's nominees are category. All right.
Okay, so this is last year.
Valorant Champions 2023. All right, you ready? It's time for our final two categories. Best Game Direction, which recognizes extraordinary creative vision and innovation in game direction and design. This year's nominees are...
Okay, that's last year. This is this year.
Dota 2. All right, it's time for our final two categories. For Best Game Direction, which recognizes outstanding creative vision and innovation in game direction and design, the nominees are...
Now, it's subtle, but, and I don't know if he's gone to coaching or whatever, but he seems so much more natural to me. He seems, before it was like he was talking with his hands a lot. It was very much like old Gimpy says, sham wow. Like, you know, da, 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 and da, da, da. You know, it's very scripted. He seems more settled and more genuine. And I think that works better for him when he is presenting. But I will disagree with you guys on his style adds a sense of legitimacy and, you know, he shouldn't be energetic or have comedy. I don't agree with you. I've been to video game award shows that have been hosted by really funny comedians like Jay Moore, and it was fucking delightful, man. It was fucking delightful. I mean, you're not going to get Ricky Gervais for a show like this, but you could get someone who, you know, but again, my bigger point though is like, hey, Jeff actually, I'm not saying he's suddenly super entertaining, but I do think, like, I'm going to ask him the next time I talk to him, has he consciously made an effort? Because he seems more relaxed in it. And I like that. You know, I think it's cool. Maybe I'm the only one who noticed it, but it definitely, you weren't even there. Ravno says, Jay Moore was not funny at all. I was there, bitch. I was at DICE. I was sitting next to Felicia Day on one side and Morgan Webb on the other in the front fucking row. Don't fucking tell me. He was fucking hilarious. He was fucking hilarious, this guy. Idiot. But what I'm saying to you, though, yeah, it could have just been a good take. But yeah, Gina was there. Jay Moore was funny. He was fucking hilarious. He was great, man. He was great. Okay. I'm not going to do a poll. I don't care. I'm just letting you know. I'm just letting you know that I do think Jeff seems a little bit more relaxed. And no, but let's talk about the legitimacy. We'll get to the legitimacy of these awards and all awards in a moment. But I want to bring this up first. This is one of the reasons I don't think, yeah, Jaffe wants Grums to host. Can you imagine? this is a real problem. It's not a real problem. Let me be clear. I very much enjoy the Game Awards. I love watching them with you guys. I love talking about them. I love streaming them. They're great. And it's usually, other than the musical acts, which I always hate in any award show, it's a really good show. Really well made, gets better every year. But what I don't like about it is this sense of the myth building. I don't like the idea of it where they're trying to convince us that this is something important, right? Because there are so many pieces of evidence that suggest that it's stupid in terms of the way this show or any of these shows is run. Let me just show you the opening of this, like the first 20 seconds of this. This is a celebration of, because it's a 10-year anniversary of the Game Awards. Watch this.
And the Game Award, and the Game Award goes to... And the Game Award, goes to... And the winner is... And the winner is...
10 years ago, we began a journey together to celebrate video games as the biggest, most powerful form of entertainment in the world. And on Thursday, December 12th, right here at Peacock Theater in Los Angeles, we will recognize the best and show you what's next with the 10th anniversary of the Game Awards.
Okay, so first off, anybody saying Peacock Theater, seriously, it's goofy. But, so it brings this sense of this is the real deal, right? And this is the problem. The fact that I literally have people on my comments in Twitter, let alone that I just saw in this chat. I tweeted this last night. Should those that vote for the Game Awards, once nominations are announced, be forced to show, kind of like on Steam, that they've played and completed every game in every category that they want to vote in? I'm not saying they have to play every single game. But if you're going to vote, if your vote's going to count in Best Action Adventure, you have to have played every action adventure game. How is this, and most people agree, 77, 78% agree, only 22% don't. And people, the fact that you guys are on one hand going, like Jacob says, I said this earlier, who can play all these motherfuckers? Then you shouldn't be voting, Jacob. Good Sir Jacob, right? What a ridiculous concept. You're going to vote for the best game in a specific category, and you've only played 2 of those games, or maybe even 1 of those games. Well, who's got time to play them all? And that's fine, by the way. But then don't pretend that this is something that it's not. Don't pretend, not that the Oscars is any less political or any less loaded, but I would say that the ratio of people who vote to have seen what they're voting for and what they're voting against is much higher than this. And I get it, games are long, blah, blah, blah. But even Michael Pachter responded on Twitter and he said, well, I could only play 3 hours of Elden Ring and it was too hard. And I wrote him back. I said, yeah, it's really hard. I haven't finished it. It's so hard, but I love it. But, I don't think that means you should be kicked out of the industry, Michael Pachter. But do you really need to be voting in a category where Elden Ring is one of the nominations and you haven't even played it at all, let alone for only 3 hours? And again, I don't care. But what I care about is you have to stop then pretending like that this myth building is built on the bones of anything other than marketing. Because, the Oscars is all marketing. The Oscars started from Hollywood executives going, we want to sell more tickets. Let's create a reason for people to go see movies beyond what we're already giving them. There's nothing noble about it. It was all marketing. But for the longest time, there was this real sense. And you go to film school or you study film and it's like, this movie won the Oscar in 1939 for Best Picture. Like it's like on some kind of rarefied air. And it's like, if that happens with games and people are like, Baldur's Gate 3 was great. I'm not knocking it. It's just what I remember won last year. Baldur's Gate 3, it won the Game Award and the Game Award has become the standard. And it's like, You don't have to fucking play the games. Literally, Alex in our Discord was going through and going, okay, I'm voting. Because you know how you can go over to the thing and vote? Right here, you can vote. He's like, voted. I'm like, you hadn't played all those games, Alex. You know good and goddamn well you haven't played every game in this category enough to actually make a fucking decision. Don't need to finish a plate of shit if the first bite tastes like shit, says Shasali. No, you do. If you're going to vote, if you're going to fucking vote, you do. You absolutely do. And no, it's not the same discourse every year, Ravnos. I don't see people talking about this. I've never seen anybody bring this up as you need to play everything in the category you vote for. And the people who are like, don't take it serious, guys, stop. Just stop. I know it's entertainment, fellas. I know it's entertainment. I know it doesn't mean a lot. But what I'm saying, though, is these two things get marbled. You have the, it's just stupid and fun, of which I agree with. Okay? I'm not done with, I'll get to this, PK. You have the, it's just stupid and fun, which I agree with. And then you have the people that are like, I like Jeff Keighley in that position where he's not being a comedian because it brings gravitas to it. And I'm like, well, which one is it? Are you okay with them basically lying to the public and saying, these are our Oscars? This is the important, these are the best games of the year. Okay, well, that message is going to travel. People are going to believe it. People are going to believe it. Nodog says, just show the damn world premieres. We'll talk about that in a second as well. I mean, that certainly is, one of the, and again, this is a great show. It's one of the reasons I love the show. And it's one of the reasons, frankly, that, I think the Oscars, I don't know if the Oscars are going to do this on the regular, but they did it 2 years ago, when they showed a world premiere trailer for The Little Mermaid, or a preview for The Little Mermaid, the remake, as part of the Oscars. And I was like, oh my God. I watch the Oscars on and off every year. I don't care about it like I used to. I used to be a huge movie fan. But, now I don't. But if they would have said, hey, watch the Oscars this year and you'll get a good host, good entertainment, your love of movies will be celebrated, and we've got 10 brand new trailers, the new Avengers trailer and the new Christopher Nolan film. It would be huge. It would be huge. Doug says it is the gaming Oscars due to how huge viewership is. No one claimed it's peer-reviewed scientific research where all voters have played all games extensively. Then don't call them awards. Have some standards. Jesus, don't you... Are you guys just used to people? How can you be in the chat right now and saying fuck remakes and remasters and all of these think pieces today going up in the games industry media about, is it okay that DLC, is it okay that remakes are being nominated? How can you care and then turn around and say not care? I don't understand. Which one is it? Is this an award show that you care about, or is it a horse shit award show and don't worry about it? But you can't have it be both. Why am I complaining? I'm complaining because I don't like bullshit. Anybody who has watched this show, yeah, we'll have the first Superman trailer, says Carlos. I'd watch it absolutely. I'd watch the shit out of it. I'm complaining because if you watch this show ever, you will know one of the things that I find deplorable is the lack of genuineness when it comes to marketing and the inability that is growing amongst the American population, at least, to have media literacy to learn what is horseshit and what is manipulative propaganda. And it affects us in every way, shape, and form, not just entertainment, of course, but everywhere. Okay. So do I get a bee in my bonnet when I see the same people saying it's just a silly, stupid show, don't worry, and then turn around and start defending and fighting about things like no DLC and no remakes? Yeah, because it's contradictory. I don't expect genuineness in marketing, Doug. I expect the audience to be smart enough to recognize the horse shit when it's being shoveled down their fucking throats. Nick Wiley says, how would you even verify that someone played and finished? It's easy. There is a solution. Steam does it all the time. Steam will let you do a slider and say, did they buy the game? Did they play it for more than 1 hour? Did they play it for more than 10 hours? There are basically trophies and achievements for finishing every single fucking game these days. It is very easy to determine if you played, and some people are like, well, they shouldn't have to play all of it. And I'm like, why the fuck not? Why the fuck not? You're voting, you're supposed to be the creme de la creme of the Oscars of video games. You can't make the time, not even make the time. Don't you want to make the time to play the 6 games nominated for Game of the Year? You guys who come back at me with that sense of like, well, they shouldn't have to play the whole thing. I'm like, what the fuck? Sure they should. Sure they should. Doug says, do you have a seat at the table considering you quit most games after 30 minutes? No, I wouldn't. I would not vote in this category, right? Because out of all of these games, I've played Astrobot about 7 hours, Balatro about 8, Wukong about 12, haven't played Elden yet, played the demo of this, I liked it, but it's not for me. And then I played the demo of Metaphor and I really liked it, but I haven't gotten back to it. So no, if you really want this to be serious, no, you shouldn't. I would not be allowed to vote in it. I don't have a problem with that. I don't have a problem with that. I know Gimpy says, and that's probably more than some of the judges. Of course it's more than some of the judges. Trust me, I used to be on the nominating committee for the DICE Awards, which is actually the closest you're going to get to the Oscars. This is journalists. The Oscars are voted on by peers, just like the DICE Awards. So, and again, I don't care fundamentally. My life will go on. It's fun to talk about. It's fun to debate. Just like, again, maybe it's just my background. I know I went to a good college. Gina is in the chat. Her and I went to the same school. I don't know what you guys did. And maybe it's not even a good college, but, part of the fun of, you read the Scarlet Letter and you debate it. It's not like it means, you mean that the flash in the sky that Hester Prynne saw was supposed to be a metaphor for God? I thought it was a UFO. It doesn't matter. It's just conversation. Go do something else. The show's called Gabbing and Games. We're gabbing, bitches. Jesus Christ. Oh, I agree. Slide Away said this is why Game of the Year should be held in February, March. DICE is held in February and March, and so is GDC Awards. My awards, of which I will include members awards as well, will be in March, because I am not going to have an opinion on something that I have not played. And I get it. I get it. Again, I'm not a moron. I get what this is. This is marketing. This is like, hey, we got 1 month after this airs to get the Christmas sales in. They'd probably rather be putting this in, November if they could. Bulbo says, bring Jeff on the show. He's been on the show. We've talked about it. Jeff has nothing to apologize or defend. Jeff makes a very entertaining show. It gets more eyes than the Oscars. He has solved a very big problem that the award shows that are consistently dropping in ratings have had, which is nobody really wants to watch them anymore. And by putting trailers in the game awards and streaming it everywhere, he's doing great. I wouldn't ask him to change anything, but don't ask me to act like it smells like roses when there's some bullshit sprinkled in there as well. That's all I'm saying. Jeff is not a joke. He's a good dude. He's a hustler. He's smart. He's a hard worker. I'm with you with that, Fried Chicken. Fried Chicken says, I feel like we need a Ricky Gervais-like host into the Game Awards, poking fun at the stupid games and all that. Yeah, we just don't have anybody who's that funny, but we could hire somebody. I'm not in the industry anymore. Okay. Yeah, but Jeff should absolutely be proud, Nick. I think it's great. Your user says I don't get the Jeff hate. I don't either. Jeff's awesome. He's a good dude. No, Doug says to play all the potential nominees, you need foresight. No, you just need structure. You need to say, okay, the nominees come out today. The award show is in March. You've got 4 months to play these games. And if you're really on the nominating, if you're engaged anyway in this, you've probably already played some of these games. It's just goofy to me. But anyway, let's go through what the awards are. And then for members, I'm going to give you guys the reveal. I sent out a Google Sheets this morning. And I says to you fellas, hey, do you tell me now that everything's been nominated, let's take the 10 biggest nominating categories and let's see what you guys feel will win. Not what you think should win. On the night of the awards, we'll do a different one that says what will win, what we think will win. But this is what you want to win. And I was kind of surprised by it. But first, let's go through, we'll go through the nominees and then the ones that are, that you guys voted on. We'll get to that next. At the very top, though, I want to tell you, Elden Ring Shadow of the Erd Tree, which I know a lot of people got upset was even allowed to be nominated. But the more and more we do this, with the industry getting more and more expensive and most people not playing indies, you're going to have to get remakes and remasters because that's what people are making these days, Okay, listen to this. Here we go. Let me catch my breath because I got, all hot and bothered telling that story. Elden Ring Shadow of the Erd Tree got 4 noms. Call of Duty Black Ops 6 got 4. Hellblade 2 got 4. Helldivers 2 got 4. Black Myth Wukong got 4. Silent Hill 5, Balatro 5. Metaphor ReFantazio got 6. Final Fantasy Rebirth got 7. And Astrobot got 7. There was not a game this year. Like sometimes it's like, I think it was last year and the year before with like Last of Us 2 or Baldur's Gate 3 that just kind of really is like 14 nominees and all this shit. But this year it did seem to be spread out on the roulette table pretty evenly for the most part, which is kind of cool to see. It's pretty cool to see. Let me tell you what the main categories are. I'm not going to go through all of them because does anyone really care? Like esports athlete of the year? No. Game of the year nominees: Astrobot, Balatro, Black Myth Wukong, Elden Tree, Erd Tree, Final Fantasy Rebirth, and Metaphor ReFantazio. See, I'm not even voting on... You can vote if you want to go over there and vote. Why the fuck would I vote? I haven't played all these games. I haven't finished all these games. So no, I'm not voting at all this year, but there it is. Here's what's funny. Best game direction, which should tell you how stupid this category is the exact same list as best gameplay or as game of the year, because it doesn't make any sense. Awarded for outstanding creative vision and innovation in game direction and design. You may as well just put a bunch of words randomly together that monkeys typed at the typewriter, because it means as much as this, which is probably why your awards is like, well, I guess that's the best game then. As I've said every year, and I will cop to Ravenos at this point and say that this is what I do repeat every single year. And I did say this to Jeff. He's like, oh, we'll look into it. He didn't look into it. And that's fine because nobody really cares. But let's at least be honest and call it what it is. Creative vision and innovation in game direction is very different than creative vision and innovation in game design. They are very, very, very different things, okay? To lump them into one category is moronic. But regardless, Astro, Balatro, Black Myth, Elden, Final Fantasy Rebirth, and ReFantazio are the ones that are nominated, okay? In terms of, yes, Slideaway says Balatro has the most innovation, right? I have to think about it, but on first glance, I would say yes. I would say Balatro would get best game design, but would it get best game direction? Probably not. I would argue that probably would be a battle between Astrobot, ReFantazio, maybe in Black Myth. And I would even suggest that Silent Hill 2 should be up there. But I certainly don't think any of those games are innovative when it comes to game design. But, that's why I'm saying this is all goofy. Best narrative. Okay. I mean, here you go. Final Fantasy Rebirth, Like a Dragon, Infinite Wealth, ReFantazio, Hellblade 2, Silent Hill 2. I have only played and completed Silent Hill 2, which I adored, but, I couldn't tell you. What's next? We have art direction. Here's another one that makes no fucking sense. This is another award that's just dumb. Astrobot, why? Black Myth, why? Elden Ring, Refantasio, and my favorite is when Jeff Keighley says never. Because it's kind of like he's, you know, wants to use the hard R kind of thing. It's such a weird title, and to hear somebody as white as Keighley saying metaphor Refantasio, never. It's just funny. Shut up, it's funny. Point being though is look at the category. This I say every fucking year. There's a big difference between creative achievement and technical achievement in artistic design. And then you say and animation? It's just dumb, fellas. And again, I'm okay. There's an old fucking movie. It's an old fucking movie. But it's so good, called Broadcast News with Holly Hunter, right? And at the beginning of the movie, she's giving this speech, and she's a very serious journalist. And she's up there complaining about how the NATO Accords or something weren't covered, but instead what was covered was the domino rally. Everybody was covering the dominoes, and everybody in the audience was like, yay. And she says, I know it's fun. I like fun. It's just not news, right? So yes, I understand none of it really fucking matters, okay? But if you're going to claim it's an award show, then you have a little pride of work and go, there's a difference between technical art and creative art, right? So if you look at Neva is probably, might be up for creative art, okay? I think Fantasio is probably makes sense if you take into account, and maybe you'd say, well, Persona did it first and better, the UI. But then if you look at Black Myth, or if you look at Astrobot, certainly Black Myth for technical, maybe Elden for technical, but you're going to give Elden Ring or Astrobot best artistic design? And then what about a game that's beautifully animated, but maybe it doesn't really have a great piece of sort of tech driving it? I'm just saying, I know it's fun. I know it doesn't matter, but wouldn't it be great if we just actually used words that mattered? Because maybe we'd be a smarter country or a smarter world. Just a thought. Best score in music. I don't know. Silent Hill 2, I don't even remember having music except on the title, but cool. Stellar Blade, Silent Hill, Refantasio, Rebirth, and Astrobot. I thought Star Wars Outlaws had great music. I think Dragon Age has great music. But it is what it is. Here we go. Audio design, Silent Hill 2, I'd say it has my vote. Hellblade 2 makes sense, but frankly, and then Call of Duty, maybe not. I've actually played most of these, but I haven't played all of them, so I'm not going to vote. But Brett Moore says literally everything we're talking about in here, Brett Williams, sorry, doesn't matter. Why draw the line at the Game Awards? Because we have to live. Here's why, Brett Williams. I understand your point, which is fundamentally at a Buddhist level of philosophy, we're all going to die. None of it's going to matter. Legacy doesn't matter. It's like Mike Tyson was talking to that kid, and she's like, what do you think about your legacy? And he's basically like, I don't give a fuck about my legacy. No one's going to remember anybody. Yeah, fundamentally, you're right. But if we are going to live here at this time together, and our lives are going to be better or worse based on how we process the information coming in that we call reality, we may as well make make an old college try to be genuine and honest about the experience that we're having, so everybody doesn't suffer from it, right? So it's not about Buddhist rebirth in terms of philosophy. I mean, in terms of nothing really matters. It's all going to vanish. It's all impermanent, basically. So yes, none of it really matters. Of course not. Why do you care about the Game Awards? Because we're all going to die. I think it's interesting. What do you mean, why do I care? I care because I love video games. I care because I think the way we respond to today's news of these nominees reflect poor media literacy skills in our culture. All right, Mo Ron, good to see you, buddy. But anyway, yeah, I couldn't tell you. Best audio design, whatever. Okay. Best performance. Well, who knows? But we've got Brianna White from Final Fantasy. I wish they'd say the characters they played. Hannah Tell from Life is Strange, the new one. Humberly Gonzalez from Outlaws. Luke Roberts from Silent Hill. Melanie Juergens from Hellblade 2. First off, Brianna White's my girlfriend. You all have to leave her alone. Don't call her. Don't touch her. Don't even look at her. Don't breathe near her. She's coming home with me. Everything else, I'll tell you that the only games I played that I really spent any time with, I played Hellblade 2. I was bored. No. But Luke Roberts was phenomenal. And Gonzalez was phenomenal. I know a lot of people didn't even play Star Wars, but they don't like the way the character looked. But, but seriously, Luke Roberts was excellent and Gonzalez was excellent. But who knows? I don't fucking know. Fuck you, Tico Waves. I will burn you in your bed tonight. Innovation and accessibility. I don't know. Call of Duty, Diablo 4, Dragon Age, Prince of Persia, Star Wars Outlaws. Games for impact. Here's what I'll tell you. I'm very grateful. This is provoking games with a pro-social meaning or message. I don't know about that. If you played Indica, Indica is basically about fuck religion. But that said, I mean, I'm down with that. I'm surprised the Game Awards going there. But Indica, the fact that it's on this list, that's wonderful. Closer the Distance. Oh boy, this is a special game, you guys. This is I should stream this. I mean, I don't know what to tell you about this game, and that it's really unusual. It's really weird, and it's almost like The Sims, but you're not really building the characters and all that. You're dealing with like a town, a very small little community that this young woman has died, and you can jump between all of the characters and make certain choices for them, but it's basically like you're watching a play out, and you can choose who to watch, and you can make certain choices about certain things that fold the narrative. It's very interesting. It's very, very fucking interesting, and it's slow, and so my ADD brain didn't allow me to play for more than 3 hours, but what I saw was like, that's neat, man. Yeah, it's about dealing with death and grief and moving on. I mean, it's a really good game if you are in the headspace for that kind of thing. So just so you know. Okay, what else do we got? We got best ongoing. I mean, again, I don't play Destiny 2. I don't know if Bukaki's still here. I know that's his jam. Diablo 4 is doing great. The Final Fantasy Online can't speak to. Helldivers 2, fine. Good to see you, Necro. See you soon, buddy. Thank you for hanging out with us. I think Fortnite is hard to deny. Fortnite is continually adding. It continues to be relevant, more popular in a lot of ways than ever. I would say Fortnite. But again, I'm not voting because I haven't played them all because it's stupid. Community support, I don't know. Independent game, I'm not even going to talk about it. It's stupid. It's a stupid idea to give it. There's Plucky Squire, by the way. Best debut indie game. Indie game? How dumb. What a dumb thing. To give an award. I mean, you want to have a separate award show? Okay, fine. But a game is a game is a game is a game. Best indie game. Think about the message that sends. Why does it matter, Jaffe? Because it matters. Because I love the art form. Sorry you don't. Sorry you don't see this as the great art form of our future. But it matters because a game is a game is a game is a game. And if you support this award, what you're saying is not having a lot of money automatically puts you in a place that is lesser. And that is ridiculous to me. That's like saying this book is better because, this movie is better because the budget's bigger. Imagine if movies did that. Yeah, Brett says best of not important enough to win the big award. It's bullshit. It's bullshit. And Wordle is a game. It wouldn't be best though, because it's not original. That game's been out before, but you know. Yeah, Baltro is nominated for Game of the Year. It's a token nod. But I'm sorry, but if you look at Game of the Year and you look at, Astrobot, or if you look at most of these other games that are nominated for Game of the Year, and you're like, oh, those are better or more interesting or more deserving of the vote than something, let's say, like we were just talking about, like Closer the Distance? I don't think so. I don't fucking think so. I think that's ridiculous. Indica, okay, sure, I get why Indica's not up there. It's a horror game and it's great, but it's, may not, but Close the Distance is trying some really fucking interesting shit. So no, I think it's I think it's utter horseshit, frankly. If you're going to ask me to call this our industry, which again, I don't like our industry. When I was in the industry, I hated when other people who were tangentially involved in the industry said our industry. Even on this thing today, Jeff said our industry. It's like, that's not your industry, Jeff. It's not my industry anymore. You were in broadcast. I make content for YouTube and Twitter. I'm a content creator. That's my industry now. There's nothing lesser about it. But anyway, the point is, though, if we're going to call this the industry's Oscars, then and in that shorthand for saying it is important, it reflects the greatest the industry has to offer. In fact, I know this because listen to Jeff Keighley right here. He says it. He literally says it.
10 years ago, we began a journey together to celebrate video games as the biggest, most powerful form of entertainment in the world. And on Thursday, December 12th, right here at Peacock Theater in Los Angeles, we will recognize the best and show you what's next.
The best. Well, no, you won't. No, you won't. Ravnos says, you're missing the point, though, Ravnos. Ravnos says, so many people do not play every little niche game on Steam that get drowned in the 10K plus games that come out every year. Sure, but so many people are not doing this for a living. I'm not expecting, just like so many people don't run around and see every little indie movie unless back in the day, Siskel and Ebert, and these days, whatever influencer you like says, dude. Cody Leach, the guy who's got a really big horror channel, he's been on my show a couple times, I've been on his. If he says, hey, pay attention to this horror movie, it's weird, it's strange, it's coming out of Sweden, it only had a budget of like $80,000, but, it is the weirdest fucking creepiest movie of the year. You pay attention. His job is to sort of, find the gold in the hills. I'm not suggesting, Ravnos, that everyone needs to know about this. But I am suggesting that if you're going to put together and vote on an award show, that is your job. Otherwise, you're just fronting and you should sit the fuck down. That's what I would say. Okay. Pow World, I think Pow World was last year, Wayne B, wasn't it? I'm not sure. But anyway, okay. Best indie game, stupid. So if I don't hear out everyone on the presidential ballot, I shouldn't vote, says Jacob. Ideally, no. I mean, look, you can do whatever you want, but you have a constitutional right to vote for the president. You don't have a constitutional right to vote for the Game Awards. So I can't control, and I think it would be very, very dangerous to try to control who gets to vote based on what they know, because who gets to decide that? But fundamentally, it sure would be nice if people who voted for things like, oh, I don't know, our lives, had more awareness. We try to read every proposition in California before we vote on it. I know it sounds kumbaya, but we literally sit around as a family. And I'm not even married anymore. My ex, myself, my son here, and my daughter in Vegas. And her boyfriend, we jumped on a Discord call this year and we went through all the propositions and we discussed them, debated them. Who are you voting for? Blah, blah, blah. It's, it's part of being in a democracy. Jeff wants to legitimize the industry, says Zack, to the public, even though gaming is bigger than movies and TV. I think his way of thinking is a bit of a deterrent to the medium. Well, yeah, but I don't think Jeff's main goal is to legitimize the industry. His main goal is to put out a product that makes him money. It's entertainment, right? And so fundamentally, it would be great if, it wasn't even an award show. It was, here's new stuff coming, and here are the 25 games that we think will blow your fucking mind that came out in the last year. But that's not going to, we wouldn't be doing this show today because, I'd still watch it. I don't care if they're offended. Ravno says you should ask some indie devs if they're offended. I don't care if they're offended. It's not about them being offended. Of course, they're probably grateful because they're going to get some advertising off of it. Everybody's dealing with the capitalist society that we swim in, buddy. But fundamentally, I answer to a higher power. I answer to a higher power regarding if we really want to say this is a legitimate show about the best, then fucking do the work. That's all I'm saying. How's this hard? Okay. Let's move on though. Let's see what else we got. Best VR AR. The one thing I'll say about the VR AR thing is kind of cool. Yes, we know it's a marketing show, guys. Ravnos, you're not. I know that. I don't know how many times I have to say it. Maybe in the chat, it's like, no, Jaffe, we get it. Ravnos just doesn't. I know it's a marketing show. I understand it. But I'm saying I have a problem with it presenting as something other than that then. Then why? Okay, I'm going to only say this one more time. Ravnos says, then why get upset about silly things? Because you and I can sit here and we can all agree it's a marketing show. Okay? But the fact is, reality is dictated not by reality, but by you say it enough times, it becomes real. It becomes what people think is true. And then decisions get made about that, by that, okay? We're terrible at media literacy. So the fact that you've got people actually writing, like I said, think pieces and debating regarding should a game be able to be nominated if it is a remake tells you all you need to know. If everyone was like, it's stupid, it's just a fun show, I would agree with you. But that's not the case. And I don't agree with that, Ultra Awesome. They should do awards by budget. Why? Why would they do awards by budget? That's suggesting that the more money you have, the better your game is. I mean, that's dumb. That's dumb. Okay. This was interesting to me, though, in that Asgard's Wrath 2, which I think got a 10 out of 10 from IGN, got great reviews. Batman Arkham Shadow got great reviews. I don't think VR is making a comeback. I don't think it ever will. AR will. I believe that. But it is kind of cool to see some real heavy hitters in the VR category. I like that. Best action game, Black Myth, Call of Duty, Helldivers, Stellar Blade, Space Marine 2. Nice to see Space Marine 2 getting some love. Action Adventure, Astrobot, Lost Crown. That's good. That team shut down or got, redispersed at Ubisoft, but it's nice to see that on there. Silent Hill 2, Star Wars Outlaws, one of my favorites of the year. Legend of Zelda, Echoes of Wisdom, Best Action Adventure, one of my favorites as well. Best RPG, Dragon's Dogma 2, Elden Ring, Rebirth, Final Fantasy, Like a Dragon, Infinite Wealth, Metaphor, Refantasio. I like Space Marine. I haven't played it enough. I was talking about Silent Hill. Sorry if I said Fighting, Dragon Ball, Grand Blue, Marvel, Capcom, Multiverses, whatever, Tekken 8. I assume Tekken 8 will get it because people love it, but I don't know enough about it. Here's another category that bothers me. Best Family. For the best game appropriate for family play, irrespective of genre or platform. This is not that. This is the E category, okay? I've raised kids on video games, okay? People watching this show have kids and they game with their kids. There's a difference between a game that is conceptually appropriate for your family and a game that genuinely does a great job bringing your family together, right? Again, not to be all kumbaya, but almost every night, me and my ex-wife and my son, and sometimes my daughter and her boyfriend, these are all adults now. These aren't little kids, but regardless, we all get on Discord or in real life meet in front of the TV, and we play all the New York Times games. We play Wordle, we play Connections, we play Mini Crossword, the new one, Strand, and Spelling Bee. Okay? That would be a family game. Right? Plucky Squire looks like a cartoon. It's an E-rated title, but it's not a family game any more than Dragon Age Veilguard is or Final Fantasy Rebirth. It's just something you can play in front of your kids or your kids might want to play. Out of all of these, the only one that really makes sense is Mario Party Jamboree. you know, I mean, you're basically saying it's the best game appropriate for family play. Who came up with these fucking definitions? Appropriate? How about for the best game what's the word? That the game that best and most consistently and enjoyably brings families or friends together to the medium, right? That's what it should be called, is what it should be called. I'm reading the description. The description is stupid. Okay? I'm sorry if you guys love this. What do you want from me? I'm telling you. I'm telling you how it is. In my opinion, of course. Sim strategy, whatever. I don't care anymore. I'm bored. Let's see what you guys voted on. Multiplayer, these matter. Call of Duty, Black Ops 6, Helldivers 2, Mario Jamboree, Tekken 8, Space Marine 2. I'm intentionally going to vote in this category just so I don't vote for Space Marine 2, so Bukaki doesn't keep telling me I should play it with him. Obviously, I'm loving the Black Ops 6, but whatever. It is what it is. Okay. Then I think you start getting into all these goofy, adaptation. Arcane will probably win. Fallout, Knuckles, Like a Dragon, which I see. Like a Dragon, I hear is terrible, and Tomb Raider, I like it because I like Indiana Jones, but that's it. Neither of these should be nominated. If you can only have three nominees, put in 3 nominees. This is just stupid at this point. Just got to put something in there. You got to put something in there. Most anticipated. Death Stranding 2 on the Beach, Ghost of Yodi, Grand Theft Auto 6, Metroid Prime 4, Monster Hunter Wilds. Okay. Arcane is a game, Mutant based on, what is that thing based on? The Dota or League of Legends or something? Apparently it's really fucking good. Like, it's really fucking good. And I guess they're only going to do one more season they talked about, but Arcane already won before. Yeah, but why can't it win again? Okay. What do we got? Content creator, whatever. Esports, I don't care. Can you imagine seeing these guys? I always say this every year, but it's so funny. Yeah, you guys look like a boy band. You guys look like the stand-in for the boy band that the film crew hires for the music video is what they look like. And I'm not saying that like I'm some kind of looker. I'm saying I will never give you a pose unless I'm being silly, like, come at me, bitch, I'll cut you, right? I might be able to do that at a business level or at a creative level or at a lawsuit level. But if you and I meet in an alley, I'm going to be like, not as good as Tyson, but I'm going to be like Tyson in the sense that I got about maybe 30 seconds in the tank at best. And if I don't take you down in 30 seconds, it's probably over for me. Okay. So I'm not going to ever seriously pose like I'm some kind of danger and threat to your life. I would appreciate if these guys that basically look like boy band stand-ins for music videos, when they're doing the lighting and they're doing the camera tracking and they're doing the, first ADs trying to get the focus pull right before, and the actual actors are in their trailers. It would be great if they would just have the esports guys just like, yeah, we're just some guys playing games. Just do that. In fact, what they did? There is a video you can find of me on the YouTube. I did a thing for Sony. It was Jaffe. What was that game called with the vinyl dolls? That was a racing game from Sony that you could build your own tracks. They did 2 of them. It wasn't Little Big Racing. It wasn't that. It wasn't Sackboy Racing. It was, oh, come on, you guys. What was that fucking game? They published it out of San Diego. Mod Nation Racers, right? Mod Nation. And what this, and they left this in, right? But somewhere in here, I do something like I'm saying I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it. Watch. Let me see if I can find it. I hate this. So I'm not going to do it for you. I'm not giving you that. Okay, here we go. Hey, this is right. So when they're like, when I'm saying I'm not going to do it, I'm not going to give it to you. They probably spent about 30 minutes trying to get me to look in the camera and go, hey, I'm David Jack, like all cool and stuff. And I made God of War. And this is my Mod Nation Racer or whatever. And I was like, no, I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it, you fuckers. I wouldn't do it then. I won't do it now. You can't make me. I don't care. That was me full of hope. That's right. Why does it make you sad seeing young Jaffe? It's just, it's the same, how what is it? Every 7 years, every cell in our body, eventually they all go and they regenerate or whatever. We're all different. We're all the same. Whatever. Let me see if I have anything else before I go to the member. Let's see. I will say, you know what else they have that I hate? I'm sorry. Next year you'll know. Don't tune in to this particular show if you find me annoying today. I mean, it'll probably find me annoying every day if you find me annoying today. But if you find me annoying today, it's just like I'm passionate about this stuff, right? I'm sorry, right? But like the future class, the Game Awards apparently does not have a future class this year. But the future class was like something they did where they picked a number of people and it's like, these are the future of the industry. God knows how they would determine that. So stupid. And then last year they were like, the future class demanded that Jeff Keighley denounce the war in Gaza or the attacks on Gaza. And of course, Keighley did nothing and they got upset. And then this year it's like, well, last year they didn't give all of us good seats and this, it's like, you're not really the future of the industry. The future of the industry is the guy or the girl or the small team that's sitting at home. Maybe this is on in the background, the Game Awards, while they're banging on their fucking game. It's not magic. It's not romantic. It's not, it's people making cool shit that people want to buy. There is no, it's just a stupid gimmick. And the fact that people who get nominated for it and get ushered into it actually think it is something. It's like if you ever watched the Golden Globe and it's like Miss Golden Globe. It's like the daughter or son of one of the people who were nominated. Like we're supposed to be going, wow, who gives a shit? Make a movie I care about, then I'll give a fuck about you. Jaffe makes videos telling people to shut up and let others enjoy Dragon Age and then turns around and doesn't shut up about the awards. The thing that you failed to mention, Eric, is it's my channel, my show, and you've come to me, bitch. You've bought the ticket and you're sitting in the audience. I didn't come to listen to you. You came to listen to me. That's why it's different. You get it? You get it? You Peacock Theater going motherfucker. All right, let me see if I got anything else. Are we talking about Kojima? I mean, what's there to talk about, you know? I want to make sure I got all my notes down, though. I think so, yeah. I think so. Okay, let me go to what you guys voted. So I reached out to the members. I appreciate you guys supporting the show, and I appreciate you guys. I want to tell you what they felt based on today's nominations are going to be the games that merit awards. Okay, would you like to see? Would you like to see? Not a problem, pal. I can do that. I can provide that entertainment for you. Here we go. I didn't do all of them. I only did the ones that were, and again, I assure you, like I said at the top of the show, Alex is like, I'm voting for this. I'm voting for this. To get like a sex worker who's a gamer. It's true. It's true.
No offense, David Jaffe, but that's bullshit.
Fair enough. But point being, though, is I know you guys voted and not everybody played all these fucking things. Jaffe's Body, P. Turtle's Choice, Christ is King. Thank you, Eddie Pie, for 18 months of support. I appreciate it, buddy. You know I do. Go to hell. Listen, best action game. Here's what we got. This one's pretty tight. This is pretty interesting. Call of Duty Black Ops came out on top, but not very far behind was Black Myth Wukong. And then you had a nice tie for Stellar Blade and Helldivers 2. And bottom of the list, which is surprising, was Space Marine 2. But there really wasn't a big difference. You're looking at basically 10% difference between the lowest, which is Space Marine, and the highest, which is Call of Duty. So, not too shabby. Not too shabby. That means it's a good fucking category. Oh, hey, Black Ops is great this year. It's fucking excellent. It's excellent. 100%. Okay, best action adventure. Well, let me take it off so I can reveal it more dramatically. Here were your choices: Astrobot, Prince of Persia: Lost Crown, Silent Hill 2, Star Wars Outlaws, Zelda: Echoes of Wisdom. This is the best action-adventure game of the year, and Gabbin' and Games members, and they didn't vote on what they think is going to win, by the way. They were instructed to vote on what they felt fit. And this is where they made their first mistake. They gave, I'll work backwards. The very bottom of the list, with only 5% of the vote, was Zelda, Echoes of Wisdom, idiots. Number 4 was, with only 10% of the vote, was Star Wars Outlaws. Got only 4 votes. Prince Persia Lost Crown was number 3, got 12% of the vote. It really came down to be a battle royale betwixt 2 of these fighters. Number 1, Silent Hill 2 was the runner-up with 30%, but most of you guys incorrectly identified Astrobot as the best action-adventure game of the year at 44%. Here's how I can guarantee you that that is not the best game of the year or the best action game of the year. I would invite you to go in and pull out the nostalgia and then play it as a game. Is it a good game? Yeah, it's a really good game. It's a lot of fun. The best action-adventure game of the year? Come on now. You got rocks in your brain pan. You must. You goddamn right. All right, let's move on. But here, I'll show it to you so you know I'm not lying to you. There you go. 41 responses. That's what you guys decided. That's where you guys decided. Awesome Tatum, I'd give it a break. He says, Star Wars Outlaws. I'm getting into it slowly, but Stalker may derail me. I would pause it because there's a news story coming up very soon in this show that might make you want to pause. Jaffe says, I need something, Ludo. I'm going to join your Black Ops 6 team. Says who? If you don't know what he's talking about, Gabbin' and Games members will be fighting Last Stand Media members. Right now, it's going to be a 6v6 battle on December 20th. I'm going to be in there. Rob, probably. Spazbo, hopefully. P-Turtle, probably. And then we've got a couple of slots open that we're trying to fill. Ludo may fill one. We don't know. Alex may fill one. Maybe somebody else. Maybe I'll bring in some kind of, celebrity. And then on the Last Stand Media side right now, we've got Dustin and we've got Ben Smith, both of which are really fucking good. Really fucking good. But anyway, there's your best action adventure. But Ludo, you may. Absolutely. I would love to get Spaz in there, but, he's busy these days. He's not as available as he used to be. Best RPG. Here were your choices. Dragon's Dogma 2, Elden Ring, Erdtree, Final Fantasy Rebirth, Like a Dragon, Infinite Wealth, Metaphor, ReFantazio. This one really came down to a 3-way race. Anybody who's interested, let's talk on Discord. I can't decide anything today, but I see some interest out there in the chat. We'll figure out the best way to make that decision. Dragon's Dogma 2, I would say rightly so, came in last. Only one person put it up there. Like a Dragon got 3 votes, 7%. Here were the big battles. Literally within less than 2% of each other. So it's kind of anybody's game here. Metaphor ReFantazio came in at number 3. Number 2 was actually tied. Metaphor and Final Fantasy Rebirth were tied. And then Elden Ring got 13 votes compared to the 12 votes for Metaphor and Rebirth. Here you go right here if you want to see it. Best RPG. Most anticipated game, I'll just show you. There's no contest. Grand Theft Auto 6, of course. Followed by Death Stranding 2, morons, Metroid Prime, Monster Hunter. I'm surprised Ghost of Yodi is so low down there, but, it is what it is. It is what it is. Best multiplayer game, Helldivers 2 got it, and then right behind it is Blops, Call of Duty, Tekken 8, and Space Marine. Not a single person voted for Mario Party Jamboree. Probably because not a single person has played it yet. But again, that's the problem with these stupid fucking things. Okay. Best narrative. Here we go. We only got a couple more. 41 responses. Here were your choices. Final Fantasy Rebirth, Like a Dragon, Infinite Wealth, Metaphor ReFantazio, Hellblade 2, Silent Hill 2. Okay? The best narrative. The best story. Number 5 was Like a Dragon with 7% of the vote. Hellblade was tied for number 5, number 4 with 7% of the vote. Came down, number 3 was Final Fantasy Rebirth, Silent Hill 2, number 11, number 2, and Metaphor ReFantazio. Silent Hill 2 is amazing, but while I don't have a problem with the game being nominated for DLC or remaster or remake, I do have a problem with it being nominated in Best Narrative. Both Final Fantasy VII Rebirth and Silent Hill 2, it's like those stories were mostly written. And yeah, they added things, but Silent Hill 2 at least, I mean, it's pretty much the same fucking story. So that's kind of weird. That's kind of weird that those would even be able to be nominated in those categories, but it is what it is. Here's a category, makes no fucking sense. I mean, seriously, I want you to look at this next one. This is Best Art Direction. Now, if I ask you guys, out of the 41 respondents, let alone the people watching this stream, who played the game Neva, most of you guys would say, I never played it, right? Well, yeah, and that's the problem with all this bullshit. 2 people voted for that. Metaphor Refantasio got 3 votes. Astrobot, for some reason, is Best Art Direction. Don't fucking ask me why. Elden Ring, 29, and the best looking game, I guess, wins. Which, sure, if you're going off the game that looks most like reality and is just fucking gorgeous, yeah, sure. 15 votes, Black Myth, Wukong. But again, this is ridiculous. This is why it's stupid. That's why it's stupid. Best ongoing game, I'm glad to see that, peace on earth has prevailed. Fortnite, it's hard to deny. It doesn't mean you love the game, but it is the best ongoing living service. Then you got Helldivers, Destiny, Diablo 4, and then coming in dead last, Final Fantasy 14. That's a little surprising to me. I thought more people were all up in the shit about Final Fantasy 14. Best game direction. Now here's what's interesting. You guys did give different votes on game direction versus best game, which I appreciated. It means my audience is smarter than the people who voted for the nominees for Game Awards. That makes me happy. Best game direction, parentheses, whatever the fuck that means, close parentheses, zing. Astrobot, no, this is weird, you guys. Metaphor Refantasio got 5th place. Well, that's dumb. That's dumb. There's a vision there that is, whatever, fine. 5th place. 4th place was Balatro. Again, I mean, this is where the problem with this category is. The problem with this category is it game direction or game design, like we talked about earlier? Well, if it was game design, Balatro probably would be getting a lot higher than 3 people voting. But since the definition of this category is stupid and ignorantly crafted, Balatro's sitting at the bottom. Then you've got Final Fantasy Rebirth. No, sorry, that's wrong. Then you've got Black Myth Wukong, which I think should be higher than Final. But I don't know. I haven't played Final Fantasy, so what do I know? Final Fantasy Rebirth is number 2, and number 1, Elden Ring Erdtree. Elden Ring Erdtree. Ionic Blood says, what the fuck is Balatro? I deadass never heard of it. Right. Well, I guarantee you a lot of people who voted here and who nominated the games probably hadn't either. Why isn't Echoes nominated for game design? Yeah. Why didn't Tears of the Kingdom win game design last year? Somebody tell me one game design last year was Alan Wake 2. Now, Alan Wake 2, not my kind of game. It's a little too slow, but I can appreciate its brilliance and its cleverness and its story. But best game design? I played like 10 hours that game, 6 hours that game, 10 hours that game. Best game design? What are you talking about? What are you talking about? But here's what's fun. So here's your game direction, right? Here's what's really interesting to me. Here's best game direction. But then when you guys, same respondents, go down to game of the year, Balatro gets a bigger slice of the pie. And I like that. I think that's smart. But here's what you guys said was game of the year. Metaphor Refantasio dead last, but still made it in the top 5. It's just nice to be nominated, I suppose. Number 4 is Balatro. A tie for 3 is Black Myth Wukong and Astrobot. Final Fantasy Rebirth is... it's a tie. It's a 3-way tie for 3rd. Astrobot, Final Fantasy Rebirth, Black Myth Wukong, Elden Ring Erdtree. 9 of you guys voted for it. Interesting. Again, I should have asked, did you what did you play? Because my guess is this one. I'm not saying it shouldn't have won. I haven't played it, but if it's as good as Elden Ring, I would say yeah, Elden Ring is my favorite game of all time. But my guess would be the people who gave it the most votes are the ones because that's what they played. 7-6 says, I think game direction is the direction of the gameplay is somewhere you want the game industry to go. You should not have to guess what it means, though, because they tell you what it means. Would you like to see? They literally tell you what it means. And what's fun about their definition, 7, is it makes no goddamn sense. Here's the definition that the Game Awards tell you what best game direction means. And maybe you can make some sense of it, but it's not what you just typed, which is the direction you want the business or the game industry or the medium or whatever to go. Again, even industry and medium are very different things, but fine. But they say, oh my God, come on with this fucking thing. Awarded for outstanding creative vision and innovation and game direction and design. 2 different things. 2 different fucking things. Don't even mean the same fucking thing. Here's something cool, though. By the way, I do want to say thank you, members, for voting in that. I really appreciate you guys showing up today on short notice and telling me what you guys thought. There's a lot of benefits to being a member here on Gabbin' Games. If you're interested, consider a membership. Consider a subscription. That's free. But I'd consider a membership. Wink. Like the video, notify your bell, all that good stuff. You know what I'm talking about. Come on back and see your Papa Jaffe. But listen, I want to tell you something. This is pretty cool. Amazon has teamed up with the Game Awards all the way up until the show. They're going to be offering deals on a lot of peripherals and the actual games that are nominated. That's pretty cool. And then it says U.S. viewers of Game Awards live stream, meaning when we're streaming it that night, there will be Prime exclusive limited time offers on top video games, accessories, and hardware that will be revealed during the show. So I don't know what it's going to be. I don't know if it's going to be like, for the next hour, all of the games that are nominated in this category are going to be 20% off. I don't know what it's going to be. But I like when Keeley's doing that. I like when he's kind of merging his show with the internet that you're watching it on, so you can kind of open up different windows and shit and go, oh, this is pretty cool. There's neat things I can fuck around and play with. So, Gina, stop, you nerd. You don't need to do that. Thank you, Gina. Good God. Gina, my buddy. You guys know Gina. She's been on the show. She's just upped her membership to Cult of Calypso. That's not necessary. But thank you. It's generous. It's kind. It will get you into lunch with Jaffe that's happening this week. Not that you need to pay to come to have lunch with me, Gina. Come on now. I want to hear about your Disneyland trip. Who's this new fella you're traipsing around with? That's what I want to hear about. Come on down to lunch with Jaffe. I think it's going to be Thursday. I'll let you know. And we got to hear all about the Disneyland trip, how crowded it was. And I got to hear about this fella. I have not approved a new beau in your life. The last guy, we know what happened. Don't we? Yeah. So we'll talk about it Thursday as a group. It ain't P Turtle, I assure you. It ain't P Turtle. All right. Here is the reason, though, that a lot of these folks do tune in to this show. And I would love to see the Oscars go this route. They never will, but I'd love to see them go this route. Which is, look, man, these guys show you great trailers. And I was thinking about it because, the one he does in the summer isn't as big in terms of what they reveal, but the Game Awards, I wanted to look back and see what had been revealed last year. Like, how big are these things? This is a real quick list. This is what was revealed at last year's Game Awards. A Tale of Two Sons, Brothers, we haven't seen much from that, but the remake was revealed. The new game from the Encryption guy, Pony Island 2, fine. Rise the Golden Idol, great adventure game, getting great reviews. Usual June, which is the Sweet Baby Inc. heavily designed game, which is one of the... I don't give a fuck about... I love progressiveness and all that stuff, but I played the demo of this. It's terrible. Just fucking terrible. The Odd Gentleman, I don't know what that is. Dead Cell's new game, Windblown. So far, nothing, all that. New Thumper music game. Dave the Diver DLC, World of Goo. Okay, but they did show a trailer for ReFantazio. They showed Exodus, which I haven't even heard of since then, an RPG from the ex-BioWare guys. Sony did drop some big news. God of War Ragnarok free DLC, and it is out next week. It's one of the biggest things I've seen them have. Untitled Goose Game, whatever. Prince Persia Lost Crown trailer, which is now nominated this year, Best Action Adventure. That's cool. We got a new Hellblade trailer. Kamuri, I don't know what that is. No Rest for the Wicked is a great fucking game. It's an early access. But so it's not officially able to be nominated, but it's excellent. All the new Sega games, Jet Set Radio, Shinobi, Crazy Taxi, blah, blah, blah. Dragon Ball Sparking Zero, which is selling great. That's out now. That was revealed there. Dead by Daylight, casting of Frank Stone, which kind of came and went. Nobody really talked about it. We got a new Visions of Mana, which came and went. Nobody really talked about it. Rise of Ruin release date. Kojima teased the horror project with Jordan Peele walking out on stage. Jurassic Park Survival, which I have seen nothing from since, but I am interested in this because I want to play. I don't want to play Jurassic Park as a fucking turn-based or RTS strategy fucking thing. I want to fucking play a first person. I'm on the island running from dinosaurs, and that's what we're getting in this if it ever comes out. Black Myth gave us a new trailer. Suicide Squad, which I thought had already come out, but I guess that came out the start of this year. They showed us a new trailer, whatever, Warframe. This was the Zao, which is nominated for an award this year. We saw that. Lost Records, Bloom and Rage, which is kind of it's not Life is Strange, but it's kind of Life is Strange-y. Berserker, which looks good. Final Fantasy Rebirth song, whatever. Apex Legend, whatever. Skull and Bones release date. They did, probably Blade was the biggest announcement they made last year, if I'm correct. The First Descendant, people liked that. I got bored of it real quick. Den of Wolves. What the fuck is Den of Wolves? I don't know what that is. Exoborn Master. So most of these were not really, there were a couple big ones. And I only bring it up because I'm curious about, they did say the finals was out. That's cool. They did reveal Monster Hunter Wilds, Baldur's Gate on Xbox. So there was definitely a couple of big things there, right? So the question becomes, what do we expect or what do we hope we're going to see coming up in less than a month, right? I mean, Sony rarely shows much there, right? I mean, it was nice to see them give us a Kratos DLC. I don't know what they've got. Maybe we'll see a Ghost of Yodi actual gameplay trailer. That could be pretty cool. Wolverine, I don't think you'll see Wolverine. I think anybody expecting Wolverine, no. Sony's going to do that on their own. They don't seem to want to put that in something like this. They want to control. I mean, I could be wrong, but they've been so far that hasn't been how they operate. Microsoft seems to do better at sort of, hey, here's a brand new thing. But GTA 6, I don't think. I mean, maybe. I doubt it. Resident Evil 9, I could see that because we know it's coming very, very, very soon. That makes sense. Yeah, you got the Rebirth, but I'm talking first party. But yeah, no, I could see Capcom giving a big one. It was a Sony exclusive, but you got the trailer, but you knew it was coming. It wasn't an announcement. Was Death Stranding 2 announced for the first time at the Game Awards? Is that right? Or no? It was just it was announced at Sony's thing, and then they just gave us more information, right? Death Stranding 2 announcement came where? Yeah, it was a state of play is what that was. So, but we'll see. I mean, I think, I say Ghost of Yodi because that's what it looks like. I don't know how you say it. I don't care. But anyway, yeah, they might give us a release date. I'm trying to think if I'd like to see Ghost of Yodi gameplay. That seems possible. Resident 9, I think Keighley gets more views than the individual Capcom showcases, so that makes sense. What else? Eddie T, the Capcom astronaut game. I remember that. I don't know. I hope we actually see some Jurassic Park shit, the first person Jurassic Park game, including a demo. What is maybe more of a gameplay trailer from South of Midnight from Microsoft? Yeah, Metal Gear Solid 3 Remake. That makes a lot of sense because they have not announced a date. So whether or not they say that's coming out and it's out now, or whether it's like, hey, here's the date, it comes out in February, here's the latest trailer, I could see that. Old Gimpy is what true? The Jurassic Park first-person shooter? Yeah, that's totally real. I mean, I don't know if it's still in production because I haven't seen anything about it, but they revealed it last year at Keighley show. And it was like you were on a train running from a Velociraptor or something. I was like, all right, cool. And then it would be nice to see some Blade gameplay. That would be awesome. We're not going to see Naughty Dog. You're not going to see any big Sony reveals. No. I don't think so. But, you know, Bloodborne remake. Yeah, you never know. You never know. They might do something with No Rest for the Wicked, like here's out of early access or a big update. Mike says we need more big budget horror. Well, we'll get Resident Evil probably. I think that's a pretty good bet. I don't think Remedy is going to be ready to show Control 2 yet. Oh, PK99, that would be amazing, but I don't think so. The new 007 game, is it time? I don't think it's ready to be. Is it? Oh man, I'm super excited for that. Yeah. Okay. 1 second, fellas. So here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna take a small break. Please discuss the Slitterhead tweet towards IGN. Send me a link real quick. We're gonna take a 5-minute break. I don't have anything to show you today. I had something lined up, then it had music and a copyright. So I'm just going to show you a great trailer, and then I'm going to show you a can for 4 minutes. Here's what's happening when I come back, though. We're going to be looking at some never-before-seen Half-Life 2 footage that looks really, really good, or Half-Life 3 footage that looks really, really good. I'm really interested in this. It's not coming out, but I'm interested in it. We are going to chat a little bit, a couple more little video game news, and then we'll get into some weird games, and then I will show you a game that really should have been nominated for Game of the Year, but it wasn't. All right, Zack, good to see you, buddy. Let me go to this IGN story real quick and see what he's talking about. IGN, 1 second before I take a little break here. Can you just send me a link, man? I'm on IGN's page. I don't know what you're talking about. IGN. All right, Gina, good to see you, buddy. We'll see you soon. Hang on. IGN Slitterhead tweet? I don't know. 5 hours ago. Okay. Bokeh Game Studio unhappy with IGN's review. I'm looking for, don't tell me I'll see the tweet. I'm telling you I don't see the tweet. I'm looking for the tweet. I don't see it. I don't know what you're talking about. Are you talking about? I'll do my best to find it before the break's over. It'll be a 5-minute break. I want to show you a trailer, then I'll show you a Coke can, then I'll be back. Okay. Check this out. One of our God of War members has made this very, very cool shooter. It is called Swapfire. It is out now. I believe it's free. And it's very clever. It's worth taking a look at. Here you go. This is Swapfire, and I'll see you in 5 minutes. BRB, that's what the kids say. It means be right back or go fuck yourself or something. I don't know.
On PC, open your Steam overlay by pressing Shift plus Tab. Then, navigate to your friends list. Right-click or tap on a friend's name and select Remote Play Together. Now, dive into the Swapfire Arena.
I kind of fucked up the ratio of the trailer. Sorry about that. But the gist of the game is it's a first-person shooter. It allows you, instead of killing somebody, you shoot them and you swap places with them. So it's kind of like King of the Hill, where you're trying to knock people off buildings and stuff, but you do it by lobbing grenades that cause spatial shifts and shooting people with projectiles that cause spatial shifts. It's clever. It's interesting. I recommend it. It's free for the next month, and you can play it online with Remote Play over on Steam. Give it a look. Okay, I'm back in 5. See you in a sec.
No, I didn't know that I was gonna be sitting talking to a bunch of illiterate people who don't know how to read.
That's a huge bitch!
Fuck you, child.
No
You will learn the
offense,
wisdom
David
of your
Jaffe, but
elders.
that's bullshit.
All right, fellas, welcome back. I had a little break. I peed, got a Coke, got a Snicker bar. I got to tweet this out, let people know we're getting back into the second part of the show. And we will we'll get rolling, my friends. I got to tweet this out, let people on. Where's the tweet, baby? Come on now. All right, boom, here we go. All right, so I looked up what, I think, who was it who told me about this? Ravnos or somebody told me about. I'm not entirely sure I really understand what's happening here, but I'll do my best to try to explain it. Come on now. All right. Also, if you want to call in and talk on the show, put yourself in the Discord. Now's the time. I'll bring in members if they want to, or anybody who really wants to come in and say something. All right, let's do this. Okay. I think this is what he means. So a couple of days ago, IGN put in, look how quickly I can prepare. IGN put an article out saying the Blockbuster Games bubble has burst. We actually talked about this a little bit on the show. They were basically just kind of saying, that a lot of people are being laid off, all the same shit. People are being laid off a lot. We know that. And, the service games and the live games and games from over a year ago are taking up a lot of people's time. So it's getting really hard to, survive out there at this level. And, it's fine. The article didn't say anything all that interesting that hasn't been said numerous times, but whatever. So then Bokeh Game Studios, who made Slitterhead, which I have only played about 4 hours of, but I played it again today. It's not like I've abandoned it. Let me see where it's sitting. It didn't get good reviews, but I really like it so far. My guess is I'm going to fall off because it apparently one of the biggest criticisms is it gets very, very, very repetitive. But so far, 4 hours in, I think it's really neat. But user score is sitting at a 71. Critic score sitting at 72. Okay. So these guys who made the game, the same guys who did Siren and the first Silent Hill and Gravity Rush, who left Sony to make Bokeh Game Studio, tweeted regarding this article, the Blockbuster Games bubble has burst. Hi guys, lovely article. How about starting off by giving us a better rating? Much love, Bokeh. I think they gave it like a 4. They did not like it at all. So first off, I don't understand what this article has to do with Slitterhead. It doesn't make any sense to me. Someone wrote, I don't know if this is the article writer at IGN. Let's see. No, I don't think somebody said this is not professional. And Bokeh said, sorry for your pain. They gave it a 5 out of 10. Okay, an excerpt from the article Bokeh is replying to. Despite their numerous differences, they share a commonality, a smaller, more refined experience that recalls earlier eras of gaming where marriages of mechanics and storytelling were key through technological craftiness rather than literal country-sized game worlds. The nostalgia they create for older game generations are central to the heart of the creation. They just want you to pick them up and have a good time now and again. The slow but increasingly clear pivot of game audiences to a potential indie game renaissance is a clear message to publishers. If everything is bigger and bolder, who possibly has the time to play? So maybe I guess what they're thinking is, hey, we made that, but why do you hate us? And, look, let's be clear. What I find incredibly frustrating is when game fans come after game developers for standing up for their work, right? Because everybody always is like, oh, where's the passion? Where's the art that we all love, that we grew up with? Well, look, when people gave Drawn to Death reviews I felt were unfair. Not bad reviews. We got some bad reviews, and I actually wrote the reviewer. I remember a guy's name was Owen Good. He gave it a 5 at Polygon. And I said, this is a really good review. I appreciate this. I learned something from this. Thank you. But we got some bad reviews that were genuinely poorly written shit reviews, right? And I stood up for the team, and I stood up for the game, and I stood up for myself. And some people appreciated that and some people didn't. But it's like, look, you don't get people that love what they do and look at these things as their kids and then go, you should be humble when someone doesn't like your game. It's like, fuck you. Fuck you, you fucking ungrateful bitch. You don't get somebody who loves what they do and puts their blood, sweat, and tears into it like you say you demand. And then for whatever reason, including it just wasn't a successful product, when they strike back, you're like, oh, be quiet. That's not classy. Fuck you is what I would say. You either get people who are passionate or you get people that are fucking making widgets. And it seems like a lot of people want people making widgets. So I don't care that they wrote this to IGN, but I would say that IGN's criticisms don't seem to be that far out from Slitterhead. And I still think Slitterhead's great so far. Even if Slitterhead falls off goes off the rails tragically after hour 5, which is where I'm at right now, it's still really interesting. And it may not be worth spending money on or a full budget on, but it's clever and it's interesting and it's unique and it's a singular vision. And, you know, I think that is to be at least acknowledged. And maybe the IGN review did. I didn't read it, but you know, I don't know. Okay, let me bring in Ravnos real quick. I'm sure he and I are going to, I don't know what we're going to do. All right, Ravnos, what's up, buddy?
Hey, first of all, sorry if I got you cranked up earlier talking about the Game Awards.
I basically say things and then I forget I said them. I really don't even know what you're talking about. So go. What's next?
The IGN thing. I believe Boca Studios has every right to make a tweet like that. Whether
of course they have every right. I mean, we're not debating constitutional. What do you mean? They have every right.
I mean, like if they put it out there like that and they look soft for doing it, that's fine.
Why,
and if
do you
they
think
look
they
great
look soft for doing it?
No. I'm not saying they do. I'm saying if people look at it and go, "Oh my God, how soft of them to complain about a review," or if people go, "Good for them."
Oh, I see. So you think they're soft? Fuck you, dude. I hung up on him. I'm kidding. I'm so kidding. Call back, Ravnos. I'm just fucking with you. Call back, Ravnos. Come on now. I'm tired. You got. Come on now. He's like, I'm not, his girlfriend's like, don't you do it. Don't let him treat you that way. Don't you let him treat you that way. And then you get right back in the waiting room. Let's see if he's going to do it. P Turtle would be back. You know, P Turtle would be back in 5 seconds. Let's see if Ravnos comes back. What if he didn't hear the second part and he doesn't know I'm fucking with him? Now he's going to be like, oh, that son of a bitch. Oh my God, he's not coming back. All right, I guess we'll move on. Ravnos, I'm kidding. So, you kidding now? Now you want me back? Well, come on, Ravnos. Come on, buddy. Get back in. Seriously, I want to hear what you have to say. Because I don't... Look, man, he's on a private rant still. I agree. I don't think he's wrong. I mean, look, man, say what the fuck you want. This idea that, these guys get a get out of jail free card and they get protection. Look, you say something shitty about somebody's work and they have every right to come back and comment. But I do think that Slitterhead is, correctly, like, I won't be surprised if I get 5 hours, 6 hours in and it gets repetitive. It wouldn't surprise me. All right, Ravnos, just fucking around. What do you want to say?
I don't know what you cut off because I wasn't watching the stream.
Yeah. You were talking about, they have every right to say it. They're not soft for saying it.
Okay, so you didn't hear anything about IGN. People always hate on IGN, not realizing IGN is not one person. IGN has a bunch of different people that review games.
Yeah, we know. What about it?
So it's like, but they always go, IGN this and IGN that. It's like, I mean, there's some people at IGN that probably would have given Slitterhead an 8. And there's probably other people that would have given it a 2.
Sure, but I mean, Slitterhead does seem to be consistently rating in that 4 to 5.
Yeah.
And what I would say is, the only thing I would say is, from what I've played so far, and again, they may be like the things that I love about it, and there is a lot to love about it, may actually be applauded in those reviews, but the bad, or what they consider the bad as it relates to a product you pay for, may just simply massively outweigh those good things. And so, yeah, I don't know yet, but I would say that what I hate is that Slitterhead may go down as just a crap game. Like even Nodog is saying in the chat, he's saying, it's mid. Part of it's mid, but there's some really cool stuff there. It's exactly what a lot of people say they want, at least in part, which is it's creative, it's unique, it's fun. It's I don't know if it's going to be like a cult hit or anything, but it's got a really neat, strong vision to it, and you can't say that about a lot of games. So I'm a fan.
Would you agree that it's basically a AA jank game, that it hits harder with its story than with its actual execution of the mechanics?
Well, I think it hits harder with its setting, its scenario design, and its mechanics. I think the execution of the mechanics are absolutely janky. They're not the biggest part so far that's been really tough for me to contend with is just rotating the camera in a way, like it almost feels like the character moves in a way that isn't correct for the size of the space. And so you're bumping into walls a bunch, and you're
camera issues.
Yeah, and it's like, what? If they would have gone in and scaled up the environment like 0.3% or something, maybe it would have been better. But regardless, though, I still think it's really cool and really interesting. And I don't think the jank gets in the way of it. I think what probably will kill it for me is, like I said, just if it gets very repetitive. And then I'm like, moving
I heard
on.
it does.
Yeah, but what I've played so far, 4 or 5 hours in, it's real fresh. It's real neat.
Yeah.
So.
Cool. Yeah, I mean, like I said, it's a risk when a dev speaks out like that.
No,
but
it's
the
not.
way they
it's a
did
risk
it was
for what? This guy taking a risk. Clearly, it's not selling.
With the culture war shit, especially. Not that this game has any of that.
As somebody who has been celebrated by and attacked by the culture warriors of the world, I can assure you there is no. My credit score hasn't gone up or down. People in the real world haven't been nice or meaner to me because of it.
No, but
it's,
as much as gamers seem, when I say gamers, I mean capital G gamers. I'm talking about the ones that are always online that do nothing but argue on Twitter. Which, you and me are part of that too, kind of.
All right, buddy.
They hate journalism, and they also hate devs that stand up for themselves for some reason. It's very odd and bizarre.
I think there are a bunch of little. I hate to say it because people are like, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't get it.
A lot of these guys, I think, are not all of them. Some people who can defend their positions with intellect and a well-argued take, they have my respect. But a lot of them, I really do believe, and there is truth to that cliche of gaming used to be this escape for these guys who never fit in anywhere. There are geeks like I was that, I wasn't the most popular kid in the world, but I was popular enough that I had my friends group. And I get that people retreated into video games and comic books and nerd culture because at least they found something there. But there's a point where you have to be able to love your fandom and go, it's a real big tent. And, I saw a woman today who does mods for Skyrim. She's done she's got like almost 1 million downloads. She was real popular. And today she announced she's leaving. And somebody contacted her in the press and said, why are you stopping? And she says, because 99% of these people in this community are men. I'm one of the few women. And every day I'm getting advanced on sexually. I'm getting treated like shit. All this shit just because she's a girl. And I'm like, you know what? I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't know about the fathers that raise these boys. I really don't. I don't understand it, but
that I don't get at all. Yeah. Like at all. I was never, my mom wasn't like, you need to treat women with respect or women have rights. No, none of that. My mother was not a freaking feminist. But yet,
treating women with respect and saying women have rights is not a feminist position.
I know,
it's a human position. Your mom, no one needs to tell you that. Of course they have rights.
Weird. I see the way people treat women, like even just jokingly, just fucking with them and trolling on like chats in COD and stuff. And I'm like, who the fuck thinks this is okay?
Oh, I know.
And why?
Whenever we get a woman in the Discord, it's so embarrassing. I feel so.
Shout out to Morgan.
I feel so
Jezebel.
like,
yeah, it's weird.
I don't want to say anything because it's like, look, no one needs my protection or anything, but I'm just like, guys, yes, it's a woman. Yes, she likes games. That's all we know.
I know.
That she's not going to be your girlfriend, or maybe she will, but not because you're being an ass. It's just so gross. It's so gross.
Isn't it weird? Like I get it.
I get it. People want to hook up. People want to be with people that are into. I get that. That's wonderful. That's healthy. But then fucking have the goddamn stones to go out there and actually swing for the fences.
Yep.
And
I agree.
Anyway, all right. I'll see you, buddy.
Yep. Late.
All right. Jacob says, I want a girlfriend that likes games. Mine won't let me play Catherine. Well, again, you need to, you got to find that, man. You want to find, he says, just kidding. My girlfriend's great. I don't know. It's not that they're gushing over people, Wayne. It's just that clearly their behavior becomes affected. It's like, just settle. It's just a woman. It's just a woman. Is it? She likes games. Just relax. Who gives a shit? Anyway. All right, listen, I want to show you something I found today. I mean, I didn't find it like I'm a goddamn Sherlock Holmes detective. I'm saying I searched it and it came up, so fuck you. But the point is this. I have never been... The first Half-Life came out, and I really loved it, mostly because of the idea of it was one of the few first games to merge narrative into and storytelling into the actual interactivity, and it was revolutionary. I didn't care for Half-Life 2. I know a lot of people lost their shit for it, but I didn't really give too much of a shit about it, and so I haven't really cared about Half-Life 3. But I will say this documentary Valve just put out for, what is it, the 10th or 20th or some anniversary of Half-Life 2, where they talk about Half-Life 3. I just want to show you 1 minute of this because they talk about a really cool enemy, and they talk about the ice gun, and it reminds me a lot of Nintendo. Recently, Miyamoto was coming out talking about their process, which we all know, and then the current producer of all the Zelda games, he's like, he was quoted the other day of saying, I've never started a video game first with story. It wouldn't occur to most people who are sort of really into game design to start with story first. And they talk about that, and they show us two mechanics. One is for a weapon, and one is for an enemy. And it's so clear that these guys start with mechanics and then build a game around it. And that's what Astrobot did as well. It is so much smarter. And it is also so much more sustainable. I don't know if we'll ever see a Half-Life 3, but I do think these mechanics are pretty fucking cool. Let me just play like a minute and a half of this, and then we'll chat about it on the other side. Hang on, let me reset the screen. Otherwise, it's going to be fucking batshit up in these parts. Shut up, idiot. Yeah. Here we go.
With these now. Well, I worked on episode 3, and I was working on this gun called the ice gun that basically let you create amorphous...
hey, hang on. Something's going on. One sec.
Shapes out of ice. So you could like raise a little ice wall in front of yourself. It would be attached to the floor, and then the Combine soldiers could shoot holes in it, and it would shatter and break like kind of like glass, I guess. So that was the primary mode of you could build ledges for yourself to get down, cliff faces. It had another mode that was like a kind of like a Silver Surfer mode where you would extrude the ice in front of yourself and then run along it.
Why is it chunking? Hang on.
And run along it. And use it you would extrude the ice in front of yourself and then run along it.
God damn it. It's really cool. Why is it pausing there?
You would extrude the ice in front of yourself and then run along it.
All right, well, it's not going to show you, but I don't know why. But it basically goes really fast, and then he kind of slides forward. It's neat.
The ice in front of yourself and then run along it. And use it to...
It'll catch up, though.
Cross gaps, go over chasms and things like that. What else do we have? It was set in the Arctic because it was centered around Borealis.
I remember the little blobby
squishy.
Oh yeah. Brian was
guys,
working on the blobs. So we had the ISO surfaces that we ended up using in Portal for the paint. So we had that as an enemy. It was a blob enemy, and it could change its shape, and you could choreograph its shapes with some content tools. And then it could also split into little hoppy blobs that could, they were almost like little head crabby things, but they were little splats that would hop around. And we were doing all kinds of stuff with that. It could pass through grates.
You could get more gameplay out of something where you had maybe a couple of creatures with simpler behaviors.
Oh yeah.
And then you would spend time like combining them with other game mechanics.
Story was never the boss of anything. It was always we worked on a peer-to-peer thing. We were all gonna, what can we do? What do you think would be cool?
It was still a collection of like playable levels in no particular order, and a collection of story beats and story concepts. And
so that's the gist. I mean, I think that stuff looks so fucking cool. Visually it's dated, yeah, but the ice thing, it kind of predates Tears of the Kingdom, right? Where you've got the ability to make your own ledges and recreate aspects of the level to solve puzzles in a way that was not initially the official solve. And then those little blob things were really fucking cool as well. So I just thought it was cool. And then I thought it was really cool after that to hear that they're like, we did, they were famous for the Cabal system where they were all broken up into little teams, and then they all broke up, and it's like, we made this thing and we made this thing, and this is really fun. And they said they were about 6 months away from coming back together and going, okay, now that we have, all of these things that we like, that we've put through the paces of what's consistently fun, now let's build a game around it. I think that's really neat. And I wish more single player narrative games would start with that. I understand that it's easier to bamboozle people into giving you money if you talk about if you talk about it like a movie, because I've done that before. I've gotten money for that before. But you're really talking to a really good video game executive when they call you on your bullshit, when you're like talking about the theme of the game and what it's about and the inspiration, and the exec will be like, okay, but I don't care. What do you do? What is the loop? That's when you're like, okay, hopefully if other things check out, that's a pretty good checkbox to check if you're looking for somebody to give you money, because they understand how the sausage is made, and they're not just sort of, bullshit artists like a lot of people are in the industry. So Half-Life 3 win, I don't know if we'll ever get Half-Life 3. It sounds like they're not giving it to us. It sounds like, at least not on the radar at the moment. I'll tell you something else though, which is pretty cool. December 6th, Marvel Rivals. Today they announced what they are launching with. They said their first season, which will include a battle pass, is going to launch a few weeks later, or maybe it's January. But here's day one. All this is free, by the way. All of it's free. You get 33 heroes, of which they've announced like all but 3. You get 8 maps. You get competitive modes and quick match. You get a practice range. You get a conquest map. Actually, they've announced 27 of the characters. This is basically Overwatch with Marvel characters. And I played the beta. I loved it. I don't think it's going to be my next Marvel Snap because I'm just not good at these games, but I love the IP so much that I don't really care, so I plan on spending some time with it over the holidays. I mean, the fact that we've got in 1 year, this is amazing. We've got a really expensive Marvel game, a really expensive Star Wars game, and a really expensive Indiana Jones game, all within the same, 6 months. That's pretty amazing. But I do think, though, if you find, Punisher's a great starting character, at least as it relates to new people. Like there are characters that have a lot more nuance to them. But for me, when I was playing the beta, I picked the Punisher and I was very happy with the Punisher. Like I could get things done. I could contribute to the team. I'm sure there's a few characters that are sort of built like that, but I might check out Rivals, says Robbo. I'm not usually into these kind of games, but it looks fun. Yeah, I mean, it's free, so why not? You know, and it's going to be, and again, people are talking about Concord in the chat, like Concord fans are going to be pissed. Well, you know, first off, they tied, you know, they hitched their wagon to one of the most beloved group of characters on the planet versus making a bunch of new ones that were poorly received. It was free, and it's on pretty much every system known to man. I don't know if it's on Switch. It might be on Switch, but you know, and it's crossplay. So they showed up to win. It was, you know, and they understand the market. I mean, to be fair, they've been in the market a lot longer. This publisher is NetEase, right? So, you're glad they have I'm glad they have classic costumes too, says Ionic. The ones they made for the game are busy looking. Yeah, I mean, there's, you know, some I like some of the ones I unlocked. The Marvel Rivals, Iron Man, is it the what do they call it? Steampunk? And that's what I unlocked, but I think I have to unlock it again because it doesn't travel with your the beta. But the Steampunk Iron Man was really cool in that game. But I thought they had some really neat variants in Rivals, at least what they showed. But I am glad they have the classic costumes as well. Absolutely. It's cool. I'm looking forward to it. How did I play the beta? It was just you signed up for it. And, you know, there was like 3 or 4 gates where they would open it up for more people. So I didn't get into it at first. I had to wait like the 2nd or 3rd gate. So I got to play it 2 weekends or something. And it was interesting because it came out, I believe, the same time the Concord beta or the Concord actual game. I don't know which one it was came out. And it was just like, you know, it was night and day. It was fucking night and day. Not in terms of, you know, I thought Concord was a fine game. It was, you know, made well. But this for me was just, it was a more joyful game because of the IP, and it didn't seem to be obsessed with forcing me to play a mode that was like everyone has to be perfectly balanced. It kind of let go of like, we want to be an esport, and look how clever the design is, that if you pick this team and put this team together with this goal, and it's like, that's cool, but I learned my lesson on Twisted Metal 2012. You can make the coolest, most interesting mode in the world. End of the day, most people just want to pour in and play team deathmatch, and it delivers that great. So, okay. I do want to jump to some weird stories real quick. Not many, I just got a couple, but I like weird shit. So if you want to talk video games, that's fine. But I'm going to jump to a couple of strange stories, and then I want to show you a game that probably needs to be at least seriously considered for Game of the Year. It certainly will be on my list in my top 3 Game of the Year. But first, I want to talk about this because, you know, I don't know, and I love the UFOs, and I love all that. I mean, UAPs, and I watched the whole congressional hearing the other day. And, you know, I don't fucking know what's going on, right? I don't have any idea. But whether these things are coming from aliens or whether they're man-made or whatever, the important thing is that it's starting to look more and more like there is some sort of evidence that either we or another country or actual aliens or dimensional beings or us or another country that's reverse engineered something from aliens have literally created some kind of propulsion system or energy system that will allow for the level of speed at which we've never really come close to comprehending. If you listen to Lou Elizondo, who was at the congressional hearing, and again, for all I know, as people have said, we had I forget what his name was. Was it Prince called in the other day saying he might be a useful idiot, but he was talking about how the things that they've seen, the human body can only sustain like 5 Gs of gravity or the gravitational force, and these things create 1 to 2,000. units of G-force. And so whether they are drones or whether they are controlled interdimensionally or whatever, we don't know. But there's a Congress guy who came out. This is Andy Ogles, who I think was actually at the hearing, if I remember. And he said, he was talking about it. And this is really the most important part. And one of the reasons that you probably are seeing a lot of people not being able to talk about this or feel threatened to talk about this or why this stuff is continuously being subverted. Which is because, I'll give you some exact quotes. He says, the UAPs seem to defy physics. They seem to have some sort of propulsion technology unknown to man as we understand it. So what does that do to the energy sector? If there's a new way of thinking about the amount of energy it takes a craft that's hovering, and suddenly it's going Mach 1 in a matter of seconds, the human body can't sustain that as we understand it. So the craft would have to have next level tech to protect tissue, biological tissue, or it's an unmanned craft. Again, there are just a lot of questions that have to be probed, but if this propulsion tech is out there and this energy capability is out there, not only are we in a renaissance when it comes to aircraft, but we're in a renaissance in terms of propulsion and energy production. So again, huge implications across economic scale, domestically and internationally. What they're basically saying is that this shit could literally collapse the world economy, because if suddenly the people who have trillions of dollars invested in oil and motors and cars and all of the, if their goods are no longer needed, they're out of business, and it changes everything from warfare to travel, to the way people work, to where they work. Everything fucking changes. And so they're saying that is the reason that this is so, being kept so, carefully held, until whoever is in charge deems we're ready to have this revealed to us. I think it's fascinating. He said, where is he talking about the energy? He said, they've maintained the secret for 70 years. Those with trillions of dollars invested in these industries would not be enthused about the possibility. 1 minute says we'll never see it then because of money. Great. I mean, I don't know. I don't know how true any of this shit is. I think there is clearly, there are things that here's what I'll tell you. The government, for whatever reason, doesn't hold public hearings about such usually perceived fantastical things without a reason. Now, whether they're doing it because we're about to have this revealed to us because they can't keep it in, and so they need to sort of slowly roll this out so we're not shocked, whether it's because the Chinese have figured something out and they're trying to prepare us for the war, I have no idea. But, it's there's a reason they're having hearings. They've had 2 in the House. The Senate's having 1 next month. Again, Ravnos, it's not a question of, that's what I'm saying. It's like you're looking at it wrong. Government leaks are constant, says Ravnos, yet this all never leaked. Sure. Again, it is not the point. The point is something is going on, right? There is stuff that has leaked. They leaked it to the New York Times 5-6 years ago, the Tic Tac video, which apparently there's lots of other videos where that stuff is there's much clearer images of that. But again, maybe here's what is important to remember. It doesn't matter if what they're telling us is true. It doesn't matter if these are UFOs. It doesn't matter if these are drones that can go, with zero energy and anti-grav energy can reach and surpass the speed of light. What matters is they are publicly talking about it for some reason, right? Like Controller Sports says the military wants to use it for war now, probably. Yeah, maybe it's that, right? It could just be American tech like the stealth bomber was in the 80s, and they denied it until they couldn't. But whatever it is, something is going on. This is not like, a a possum hunter living in his trailer out in the desert. I don't know if you can get possum in the desert, but maybe he's dumb because that's where he went to find him. And going, I done seen that out there. This is the government saying, hey, let's have hearings. Let's talk about this. Let's create organizations. Doesn't mean what they're saying is true. The question is, why are they talking about it? That's the interesting part of this, right? Whatever it turns out to be, what are we talking about, right? 7.6 says they can withstand 2,000 Gs. It's impossible for humans. Yeah, but it's not impossible for humans if it is transdimensional travel, right? And again, there are much smarter people and learned-in people than I am about this stuff that can explain it not stupidly like I'm about to. But the basic idea, though, is if you are sitting in a chair and that chair is able to dimensionally skip, meaning it stays in a location but it moves to a different time, or it moves to a different dimension and then comes out back in the original dimension, to the eye, it looks like it's moving really fucking fast. But in reality, it's simply blinking from one location to another, kind of like what a lot of people say happened to that airplane, the M7, whatever it was called, I don't know. But 1 minute says, this topic is why I love the NASA mission in Starfield. Imagine figuring out space travel. Right. I mean, this stuff it's absolutely fascinating. And even if it turns out to not be anything that they've, it could all be, PSYOP sounds more dramatic than it probably is. It could all be, something very benign and basic. And we're just, this is how they're choosing to distract us. But fundamentally, if we are looking at even like the Hubble telescope, we're getting closer and closer and closer to being able to find evidence of life out there. I think it's cool, man. I think it's cool. I'm one of these people that when this stuff comes up, I'm stunned that, I grew up having my parents tell me how glued to their TVs everybody was when the moon landing happened. And, my dad would wake us up in the mornings early to watch the space shuttle launches, right? I'm amazed that this is not what everybody and anyone is talking about. But I mean, it's not, and that's fine. It's not like a criticism, but it just amazes me that that people aren't like, wait a minute, the United States government and it's let's be clear, almost as amazing as UFOs are bipartisan efforts. The Democrats and the Republicans have come together for these hearings, and they're all in agreement. What are you talking about? What are you fucking talking about? Yeah, it's amazing. People are too busy in their lives. They don't have time for these theories. Well, I get it. I understand. But, this is happening. So maybe the government's like, look, we're going to their alien overlords going, we're trying to prepare the people. They just don't care. They just don't care. And then you hear the one that terrifies me the most, is where you've got the Bob Lazar guy talking about us just being containers for these aliens, man. That's the scary shit. That's the scary shit, because then you're just like, you're nothing. You're a container. Don't hurt yourself, hopefully, and when you die, we'll be able to use whatever it is you're transporting, but you're nothing in the grand scheme of things. You don't matter. You're something we picked up at Bed Bath & Beyond. But anyway, I wanted to bring that up because it's just getting hot. It's going to happen again in December. If you haven't watched the hearings, I recommend it. Give it a watch. You can get them on YouTube, and it was it wasn't that long. It was like an hour. Hang on one sec. So we'll see. We'll see where it goes. The other thing I wanted to bring up, kind of related, semi-related, this is nuts, man. This started making the rounds. This is, it says lots of talk on Twitter again about the CIA documents detailing a remote viewing session on the surface of Mars, which talked about pyramids, obelisks, vegetation, and life. This is an 8-minute video. So, you know, it's not for everybody, but it's crazy. Basically, the Bulbo, I'm not saving it for I Love the Weird because I'm mixing the end of Gabbing and Games with I Love the Weird because I'm not going to do a straight up I Love the Weird. Look, you know what? Maybe I will. I need people here who care about this stuff. I'm not going to talk about remote viewing right now. Here's what I'm going to do. Here's how we're going to wrap up the show. I'll do an I Love the Weird because I got to talk about this CIA remote viewing stuff, man. This is nuts. This is fucking nuts. If it's true, and it may not be true, but the CIA did it. There's released declassified documents talking about it. And the official word is that the CIA closed the book on this because, oh yeah, remote viewing, it didn't work. It didn't work. But there's some interesting things. So we'll do it. We'll do it, but we won't do it right now. But here's what I want to do as we wrap up for the day. I want to show you a game that I really think is special so far. It's only like a 4-hour game. I'm only 3 hours in, but I'm going to just play for you on the stream the first 10 minutes of it. And if you're not kind of wowed by the first 10 minutes of it, totally cool. It's not for you. But this game is pretty fucking neat. Let me set up my screen so I can see what you're chatting about while we're playing. It is a game called While We Wait Here. It came out this year in
Are we doing the right thing?
October 23rd. So it's relatively new. I want to show you this, okay? Will I play Black Ops 6 tonight? I don't know. Depends on my schedule. I'm not sure. Yeah, there is a Disney movie, John Carter. Yeah, but I'm serious. You guys should. So Jacob, you've played it. What do you think? I think it's incredibly special and weird and wonderful. Isn't that a Disney movie? I think it's John Carter of Mars is. I haven't watched it, but I hear it actually is a good movie. It just bombed really bad, but it doesn't mean much. All right, hang on. I just told you it's While We Wait Here. All right. Hopefully it's not going to start me where I was. Okay, let me do a new save. Of course, the dog's going to bark now. And again, it's indie, so if you're here for the visuals, it's not for you. Move along. Sorry, hang on.
Sleeper. Otherwise, they would have taken away Molly, too.
Did you come down right away?
Yes. I took the rifle and went out.
Oh, you guys can't see it, can you? God damn it, Jaffe. Moron. Hang on. My bad, guys. Hang on. Okay. 1 second. All right, let me start again. All right, here we go.
my beloved Bella this morning. I tell you, it was those sons of bitches. It's been weeks now that we've been hearing rumors about them rustling cattle. Fortunately, I'm a light sleeper. Otherwise, they would have taken away Molly, too.
Did you come down right away?
Yes, I took the rifle and went out. But by the time I got to the barn, one of them hit me in the head. These people need to be taught a lesson. They must be taught to think twice before breaking into other people's houses. They should consider themselves lucky not to have caught a bullet to the head.
Maybe it doesn't have to go that far. But I agree they're absolute assholes.
At least they didn't take them all. What else would I have to keep me busy if I didn't have my cows?
Have you already reported the theft?
What the fuck do I tell the cops? They wouldn't find her anyway. What a shit time we're going through.
You should wait for them with your rifle pointed.
Rest assured that if they come back, they'll get what's coming to them.
Is everything okay?
What does he want now? Cliff, go and see what's up with him.
I'm going. Excuse me, is everything all right?
I am ruined.
Excuse me?
It's none of your business. Do your job and go get me that drink.
Fine. Coming right up. Nora, is the whiskey on the shelf finished?
No, there should still be some left. You can take it. Cliff, come take a look at this.
Coming. I don't like that guy.
You never like anyone. I thought you were used to our kind of clientele by now. Come on, let it go. Instead, look at what I found.
Oh, that magazine again. Which villa have you fallen in love with this time?
No villas. You'll love these two, trust me.
I'm playing
the
live.
first one is very secluded and a bit out of town, but it has a big garden and the most beautiful fireplace. It probably just needs a little remodeling.
Well, that sure looks like a villa to me.
Come on. This one, on the other hand, is definitely an apartment. It looks quite nice, and it's rather close to the center. It's even cheaper. The only downside is that it faces the street, so it could get a bit noisy.
Let me think. Sure, that house does need a fair bit of renovating, but I like it.
There is also a lot of empty land around it. You always wanted to have a small garden to plant your vegetables. It looks like the perfect place for a fresh start.
So, you finally set your mind on leaving?
I'm sad to be leaving everything we've built here, but... Hank, you know, we've been dreaming about this for a long time now.
I'm a retired old man. If you leave, where will I spend my afternoons?
Come on, Hank, you know me all too well. We need a change of scenery. And anyway, this isn't the only diner on the road.
I'm not saying you shouldn't chase your dreams. I'm just saying, I'm gonna miss you guys. This place means a hell of a lot to the few people still around here.
Can you hear me? Sorry to interrupt your fucking lame-ass shit family reunion. My throat is dry. Do any of you intend to carry out your jobs?
Hey, you piece of shit! Can't you see I'm talking here? Cliff, Why do you always let people treat you like this?
Shut up, old man.
I'm coming, but you need to calm yourself down.
Who does this guy think he is?
Another glass.
Are you sure you haven't had enough to drink?
Another glass.
All right, all right. Shall I leave you the bottle?
Feeling lazy today? Of course I don't want you to leave me the bottle. No, I'll call you back if I want more.
All right, whatever.
Hi. Hey, Mandy. I didn't know you were back in town.
A little break after a month of filming. I really needed it. And soon you will be seeing me on the big screen.
What are they making you do this time? Another respectful scene as an extra?
Hank, you're still the same as always. I actually secured a leading role in this movie. Don't be questioning my talent every time I set foot in here.
Oh, Mandy, don't feel too bad. He's only saying that because he'd like you around here more often.
I know. He's my #1 fan, really.
And the only one you have, too.
You wish. Anyway, I couldn't leave town without stopping by to say hello. Cliff, can you make me a burger? I'm starving.
Sure. Coming right up.
I've already organized everything in the freezer.
Mandy wants a hamburger with just meat. I'll get it from the freezer. The buns, on the other hand, end on the shelf to the right.
Or is everything still top secret?
It's Alan Smithy's new movie, though I can't go indulge you in the details quite yet.
Oh, please. You know I love it when you give me
All right. It's an action film. I'm playing the role of the victim taken hostage by a gang of criminals.
Wow, that's nice.
Are you sure this isn't a porno flick? I would gladly watch that one.
Hank!
Somehow, I had no doubt you would, Hank.
Phooey.
Anyway, I'm very happy things are looking up for you.
So they're letting anyone become an actor nowadays. With that awful voice.
Hey, easy! You're free to leave if we're bothering you.
I ain't done drinking.
Would you look at this, asshole?
Sorry, I was caught up by my own excitement. I didn't mean to disturb anyone.
Here you go, movie star.
I'm thirsty.
Thank you.
I'm finally being served by someone who knows how to do her job. I bet you're the boss here.
Yes, and if I were you, I'd stop giving a shit.
All right. Someone's a little touchy.
That guy is such an asshole. I don't understand how you can stand having people like that in here.
Unfortunately, assholes like him help keep the lights on around here.
I have animals that are more polite than that guy. Cliff, can you give me a cheeseburger and a beer? Then I'll try to stop by the sheriff's office to report those damn cattle rustlers.
Sure.
Why? What happened, Hank?
They took one of my cows. I'm starting to no longer recognize this world. You can't even be comfortable.
No.
You don't know.
You're already here.
Much I understand.
Is it
These days, you
really necessary to continue?
You're free to go. No one's forcing you to stay here.
The available details indicate that the murder yesterday frequented mainly by residents. According to authorities, who was visibly intoxicated, entered the diner and caused his causing trouble.
That burger didn't last you long.
I'm
hey, Mandy.
quiet
You can't imagine
out
how
of
hungry
respect
I
for the
was.
game, so you can. I'm not going to play the whole thing. I'm just going to play the opening prologue, and then you can decide if you want to play it. I think it's one of the best games of the year.
All right, folks, I have to go. It was good to see you again. Keep the change.
Take care, Mandy. See you again before we close shop here for good.
Bye, Mandy.
See you guys.
See you tomorrow, Hank.
Bye, Hank. Are we doing the right thing? This place is filled with memories. Seems like yesterday, you used to come all the way here in that old wreck of a car, and you ordered...
Pizza.
We've never served pizza here.
Oh, right. Maybe I'm getting confused with the other diner I frequented at that time. The waitress there was just as gorgeous.
Oh, Cliff. You're not funny.
It was just my luck that your father decided to hire me.
Yeah. It's been so long now. Maybe it's time for me to go.
No. Nora, stay with me. A little longer. This place, it needs you. I need you.
As I need you. But I cannot do this anymore.
All this pain will never leave you.
The available details indicate that the murder occurred yesterday evening in a small diner frequented mainly by residents of the area. According to authorities.
This is our one special place. You really want to destroy everything? Come back inside.
Now let's go back to the brutal murder that occurred a few weeks ago at the Lone Glass Diner. It appears that the alleged killer is still on the loose.
All right, that's all well, actually, I'll show you this. So what's interesting now is
According to initial reports, the man was extremely drunk, getting away on foot after carrying out his cold-blooded act. Authorities have released the sketch and are
No, that's not it. It's just the beginning. And now you change to these characters for a little bit. And then you go back.
Wait. You can't do this.
Yeah, it's, again, love it, hate it, whatever. But this is excellent. It's absolutely excellent, and it's fresh, it's original, it's different. And I think I know where it's going. It's got one of the coolest scares I've seen in a game in a long time, and it's not a jump scare. It's just sort of a weird creature design. It's interesting. It's... Right. I don't know. We'll see. But it definitely represents something that I think is very special this year. So if you're into this kind of stuff, give it a look while we wait here. And in the meantime, that's Gabbing and Games, baby. That's Gabbing and Games for Monday. I'll be back tomorrow. In the meantime, thank you for hanging out. Consider a membership. Consider a subscription. Follow, like, notification bell. Bukaki, RPG, all the mods today. Thank you guys very, very much. Hey, it's not an ad, #ad ARC version, but I would be more than happy to take ducats from these people because it's excellent. I love this thing. This is just fantastic. How much is it? I don't know. Let's find out. I don't think it's much. I think somebody in the thing was saying it was $5, but I think maybe it's on sale right now. Yeah, I guess it's either on sale or it's $4.99. It's like a 4-hour game. It's not very long, but it's good stuff, man. All right, be well, be safe, and I'll see you guys soon. Thanks, everyone. Bye.